where you are from Kartong to Koina with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Jove, the entire team.
I feel great giving the opportunity to be a staff here at Gambian Talents TV. Thanks to Pa Usman Ju for the opportunity and the entire management team.
Staff in Gambian Talents TV, Mr. Juf, thanks to you. I'm so excited. I'm so happy right now. And the entire Gambian Talents TV.
Tey nag lu doon suma teewaay fii mooy pour jox suñ mbégte ak kontaante opportunité bi nga xam ne pour ñu gën a mun a prove suñ bopp si institution si liggéey nga xam ne boobu lañ ñu ko jox pour ñu mun a gën a wone suñ bopp. Opportunity bi pour thank the entire GTTV management. Time that I was starting, it was like JJC, Johnny Just Come. Things were very hard with me. I can't even speak or stand in front of people to talk. To showcase my talent was very hard for me.
Rome was not built a day. This is absolutely an important gesture. I cannot compromise with it because I have been at home going to school, going and coming.
This is the place that I got everything. I will try my best to do well, to work as a team in order to take this institution in a better place and in a great way. Doon na kontante bu mag si ñun te su soobee Yàlla by the grace of God Almighty dañoo gën a jàpp institution bi gën ko def institution bi nga xam ne bokk na si media yi nga xam ne ñoo gën a rëy si suufi Gambia fii.
Thanks to the internship and to Pa Usman Ju for believing in me, trusting in me. He gave me the opportunity as a young person, having my own shows, went to tour with the president. Other important state engagement that I was involved with together with other colleagues of mine was an important gesture and a wonderful experience.
I promise to work so hard to make this institution the best institution, not only in the Gambia, in the world at large.
Na góorgóorlu bu baax ba lépp luñ expect si ma def ko na work hard pour jëmale institution bi inshallah si kanam.
We are ready to rally behind him pour jàppale institution bi mu gën a grow further.
This means a lot. I won't let them down. I'll continue to strive as much as I can. As young people, this is what is expected of us, to strive hard, to work hard, to make sure we make our parents happy, we make people that believe in us happy. This is definitely something that I can't play with.
Yes, Malaikum Pausman, nothing at def. And some colleagues, I hope you're all doing very well. So I would allow Mr. Pausman Juve, the global coordinator for Gambian Talents TV, Gambian Talents Promotion, to introduce our guest. Pausman.
Thank you very much, Fatu. Greetings to you all out there. I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. Juma Mubarak, Lenje, what to do, right? Juma Mubarak to you all.
It's you the same.
Okay, it's going to be a wonderful evening for you all. I know it's about 4:30 p.m. there. It's 8:30 a.m. here for me. I am delighted to see this happen today. It's a good feeling in the sense that it's going to be a win-win situation. The start of a new beginning, but a continuation of the old existence. We have somebody that is not a stranger to me, somebody that I am very used to, that we grew up together in Farafenye as young people and could relate a lot. Whenever we talk, we spend a long time reminiscing Sumo he muna masumandonga mana ko hamulo sa bopa, and we will go back and forward and talk about a lot of things. Some of the new water nak kuko dega CNC no patoj, but we will just keep it at that and just move on. I have the pleasure and honor to introduce Sherrif Mustapha Dibba, a Chakutarian, Chaku Bantangla or Farafenyala, New Judondor, Yerondor, Farafenye, and of course, he's been a very hardworking young person, young man, DP Binyoneka Farafenye. Ningen ko gisee ni hair la nag, don't fall for it. But he's a very promising man. DP Moneka Farafenye, always been in the top students. Jehal Farafenye Primary and Middle School and came to Gambia High School. Did his thing there, finished and went to the UK, enrolled in the British Army and has been doing a lot of work. There as an officer, traveled to different countries. Fete Reglaham, but not only did he know how to handle and tackle the gun, he also knows how to be disciplined. He's an officer and works very hard, and is also a philanthropist that's doing a lot of work. Of course, Gambian see in the UK who have a military background or who are part of the British Army have an association, and they do quite a lot of things. And of course, they have the intention and are already giving back to the Gambia, through several different means. Just 2 weeks ago, they had a project, which, of course, Sheriff wasn't even in the Gambia at the time, but some members of their team facilitated the project where they went to give out different supplies. He will tell you more about their project. Not only that, Sheriff is also an IT tech, works in the IT industry and doing a lot with that, giving back by teaching young people to that effect. It could be recalled that when Gambian Talents TV or Gambian Talents Promotion started this internship program, IT was part of the courses that we offered, and we, in fact, have provided some trainings in some areas such as web development, computer maintenance and repair. But the people who were teaching these classes became preoccupied and could not continue that process. So I am glad to inform those of you sitting here and those of you who came to join the internship with the hope and wish and intention to learn IT, and we discontinued it. We offered you to do other things pending us doing research. To find somebody else that can teach this class. I'm glad to tell you that we will be partnering with Sherif to actually teach that IT course. Starting in this summer, in the next few months, Sherif will be teaching IT. Here to our interns that we are providing classes or trainings for free of charge. Uh, all of you are here. Some are studying different things: journalism, videography, graphic design. However, though, if you are interested in IT, that would be a moment for you to catch up on. Those who were here to study IT and are no longer here and didn't have the chance to do so because their internship finished, they are welcome to come back. And if you are also following us online and would like to join the class or have a family member that you would like to learn that, of course, we will be starting that course. We will be developing it with Sheriff in a short run. We are also working on several things. As they materialize, we will be bringing them up to you. But of course, Sheriff Mustapha Dibba is not a stranger to me. We grew up together, we lived together in Farafenye until he came to the Combos Nekadidem School for Funono, and basically I have always known him to be a disciplined person, very respectful person, somebody that always knew sohlam mole me ala hajo long bake. And just like many of you, I share my stories and I tell you how I used to eno bidongi duty for my mom. We are all in the same situation. We were all in the same situation. We feel what you feel. Fi ngeen toog ni nekkoon nañ fa in the past. Our only difference is we didn't have the opportunity that you guys have today. We wish we did, but we were able to endure, we were able to strive, we were able to seek, we never yielded, and we were able to actually follow through on our dreams and stay focused. So, as a result, Sharif will, of course, talk to you guys today about discipline, the importance of discipline, and of course, will share his personal story. Ask him any question that you want, and I know he will certainly do justice to the topic. So I have the pleasure and honor to introduce Brother Sherrif Mustapha Dibba, who is from the UK, left all his busy schedule. Is there nko semester la malang olem barala ayala malang ya be tuje by for semester binyo pour I mean just spend time to share his experience with you. So feel free, open up, ask him any question, including how to enroll in the British Army. xam naa ne ñi nga xam ne su 3 years jot na jotee Sirif gars yi daw kenn du dee ñëw liggéey si ñii duñ dem ci army bi 3 years jot na jotee wala démonstration ñu bari ñoo lay am biir yu daw ak wala rey seen maam yi papa yi duñ dee nangoo ñëw jaab si. So I know these people will not definitely enroll in the British Army, but ask Sirif any question. So join me to welcome Mr. Dibba, please.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir. So I would also give each and every one of you the mic. You introduce yourself so that he can also know you. Just a second.
All right. Welcome to Gaming Talents TV. My name is Aissatou Koli, a reporter and a presenter, and actually the presidential correspondent for Gaming Talents TV. Thank you. And the host of Youth Bantaba.
Okay. My name is Alassane Ba. I'm a videographer in this institution. Yeah.
Cameraman,
my
your
name
image
is
is a little overexposed. The camera person's image is a little overexposed. Thank you.
yes. I am Sherrif Conte, a journalist and also managing the projects of WAWAC.
Okay. I am Yusuf Ndur. I'm a journalist and also a host of Get a Live show.
Okay. I am Bintu Singate. I'm a journalist and also a videographer.
Okay, I am Aida Jallo, a videographer.
asalaamaaleykum Mr Deba ñu ngi lay nuyu di la dalal ci biir kër gi ok man la Awa Sow journaliste la fi ci biir kër gi.
Welcome, Sherrif. My name is Binta Baji, a journalist.
Welcome, Diwachaku. I am Aida Kebe, the Deputy Country Coordinator for Gambian Talents, a final year student of the University of the Gambia, a journalist and a videographer as well. Thank you.
All right. Unfortunately, others are not around. Some of them had stayed around and some others went on the field. But then that is why we are live and they would learn from it. So you're welcome to the institution. And here is your mic.
Right. Am I on now? Yeah. Thank you very much, Efsama and the entire team. I think this has to be one of the biggest hijack ever. I had a chat with Pausman. I'm like, I'm gonna come and visit the studio and have a chat with the boys, but without knowing that I'm gonna start in front of the camera today. But yeah, and I didn't have any makeup. I was not giving a makeup. Yeah, but thank you very much, guys, for welcoming me. And thank you, Pausman, for that brilliant. Yeah, I think you are very, very a nice guy. You gave me a wonderful, introduction. So, point of correction: I wasn't an officer. I was a soldier in the army, not an officer. I started chat with Pausman. I think one of the main reasons why I'm here is because me and Pausman, like he said, we went way back. So, way back. When we say way back, we mean way back. So from childhood days, and then Pausman is always a fighter. He's somebody who always there trying to make things happen, right? And I can remember I was there trying to help him or trying to be somewhere around supporting him, sort of. So when I heard about this Gambian Talent TV, and we always have a chat about this Gambian Talent TV thing, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this with you guys." And one thing that really fascinated me is the way he's bringing the youth this intensive program. I think that's really, really important that we need bringing the youth through a system where people will be coming, regardless of what education or qualification you have. So if you can literally come through a system where people can support you, and Usman cannot do everything by himself. Even if he's a millionaire, he can do everything. I think it's important we as friends and also people who also want to promote and help Gambian youth as well, instead of making your own start, you might join Usman, help him wherever you can. So when I told him, you know what, Pausman, I think one thing I can do for you, I don't have to be in the Gambia to help you. I can be where I am and do a bit of online classes for you, if that's fine for you. And Usman was like, yeah, Sherrif, I've been doing all this, but because of I used to get help from, I think, from an institution, but it's not working anymore. So I have to now sort of like drop that IT part of life and sort of like do something that I can provide for the youth. But and in fact, somebody just told me that you have over 300 people came through here, about 300 start youths. Yeah, so that's a huge number. So if Faustman is doing that, and then someone else is doing that, I think if you do the maths, obviously, you're looking at least in 3-4 years, if everyone is producing 300 people average, so at least the youth unemployment is gonna shrink down to the brain. So this is what permitted me today to come. And I had a chat with Usman as well before I start. He keep focusing about discipline, and he wants me to elaborate a bit on discipline, especially I have a bit of military background. It's like, okay, yeah, why don't you talk about discipline and stuff? Um, I think he's absolutely spot on when it comes to discipline. My journey started way back. I finished school in 2001, Gambia High School, and then since that day, I've been studying and I've been trying to go to the next step. So it's always a step. You can always go to the next step. So this is where I started the ID courses and everything that I've started, and then until today, I'm still learning, sort of, if you want to call it that way. So there is always an opportunity. There is always a room to improve yourself. There is always time to sort of go to the next level. But what it entails is no people wants to go to the next step always, but it involves what's called discipline, because the journey is always not always smooth. It's not like you're gonna go from grade 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. No, sometimes you're gonna have sort of like a bit of a rough patch. So what you need to do is that you need to have the discipline to go through. But I think that's one thing we lack a little bit in our society, that people want to go from A to Z or from A to W. You need to go through the process. You need to slow it down, break it down, digest and grow with the system. And then eventually, I think that helps you. So discipline is key component in whatever you do, especially, at his level. I was there before. Usman was there before. Yeah, and then we had to grind and then move forward. But I think it's also important that you have a passion what you do. It doesn't matter what discipline you have. If you don't have passion for what you do, like I always like being an IT expert. I always love IT. That's my thing. So because I have the passion for it, that's why I'm still on it still. But if you don't have a passion what you do, what's gonna happen eventually is you're gonna be doing something that you don't really like. So when you go home, you're gonna sleep and say, "Thank God, why am I even doing what I'm doing?" And you come back in the morning with a frown face, and you hate yourself for what you're doing. So that's why it's important as well. First of all, identify where you want to be. Like if you really want to be a cameraman, hey, that's where you want to be. A cameraman is a good professional. So if you also want to be an IT expert, wherever you want to be, just focus on what you want to be and be disciplined with it. So I think that's important as well. And then again, so coming back to the final phase of the chat I had with Pa Usman. So he actually mentioned to me about that web development side. And I'm like, I think that's key integral of what we do in the Gambia, because what we don't have in the Gambia is, because when you go into the sites of even the government sites, these are ministerial websites, you will see that the website is very, very bad. It's a bad website. There is nothing literally there. And if you go to schools as well, like I checked a school. I don't think I'm on camera here. I'm not gonna name names, but this school, they are charging people $30,000 for a term. It's one of the most expensive school. All right, you go on the website, you cannot even find a single information. Like someone who lives in Europe or diaspora wants to send their kids to school in here. Okay, let me go on and see what's this school like, how much, what's going on here, and then you probably want to find some information about the school. But there is nothing there. It's just a website that's built, and it's got 1 or 3 paragraphs say, oh, this school is called this and this and this. So I think that's important that we teach our youth web development and also incorporate it with IT skills that can help them to help this thing, because we are far behind. We are literally far behind when it comes to IT. I think that's something that we need to break. And then we cannot just sit in England or wherever we sat there and say, oh yeah, by the way, our website are really bad. We need to come back here and help. Don't charge money for it. You just come here and sit down with the youth and just go down to the level and have a chat with them and see how best you can help. You don't really have to be in the Gambia to even do anything here. You can do anything online. Everything can be done online these days. So even it helps with the corona as well. So that can be your great excuse to say that, you know what, I'm not gonna come here. I'm gonna sit online and do bit of classes on Zoom. So this is why I want to help in. I probably will come in and help. And I have some of my friends who are part of the organization I'm with. I'm part of a charity called GKFC. It's called Gambia United Kingdom Forces Community. So basically what it is members, it's Gambians who serve in the British Army or are currently serving in the army. So we came together and formed an association called GKFC. I think you guys covered our event last week. Was it 2 weeks ago? Isn't it? Yeah. So you must have met the boys. So those are the big boys. So I'm like the bottom of the thing, right? So and what we do, one of the things that we do is give back. So giving back doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna come here and build roads here or build bridges here. So I think the give back is to come and sit here somewhere where you're gonna sit with the youth and sort of share your story. Sometimes it's not about educating people; it's about sharing your story. I was smart to keep saying, share your story, and people can learn from where you've been. So, like he said, we all grew up together. You know, we end up, Gambia High School, St. Augustine High School, and then we had to grind, try and go to the top schools, and then yeah, eventually we all end up going to universities and join the army some point, and then yeah, we went from army university, and then we try to here we are still learning and still in the process. But like you said, it takes a lot of time, dedication, and discipline. And then yeah, and if you talk about discipline, where we come from or the experience that we had back in the day with the army is key fundamental. Whatever you do, you have to have discipline to even wear the uniform or to be anywhere near anything. So I think that's one thing you will be taught how to do. And then when people say this guy is disciplined, people will look at you and say, oh, by the way, he's so go away that do their saga can. I think for you society, but that's what right. That's what discipline is. Kimom do they want so called definition do they want that? No, discipline is not that. Like if you say discipline, if I say to you, I'm gonna be here 4 o'clock, I'm here 4 o'clock. That's part of discipline, right? Right. And then I'm working here. I make sure this place is clean. If something is not clean, I make sure I clean it. That's discipline, right? Well, again, what we tend to do is in society, we tend to deflect. Discipline is all about kunopiki. Somebody come is like he is socially you can talk to the person. It's like he's nice talking to, but do they disrespect any elderly? So that's what we call discipline. But it is not just that. It is more like your it's a tendency to keep yourself to a point where you do what's right, just right, right. So you do just right. So when I mean just right, you don't bull opal and bull deaf what is what is not required of you. Don't let yourself down, not sell, right? So okay, someone have any man, I can do this. I'll try my level best and do what I need to do. But then if I don't do what I'm supposed to do and I know I can do better, that means I'm letting myself down. That's bad. Right. So and then I think that's what you should try and avoid. Just try and do your best, work hard. Some people really work hard. I've talked to people who works like they sleep 3 hours a day or 3 hours a night or 4 hours a night. The rest of the time is working. They work hard a lot. I think Usman is been through the same process as well. He really work hard. So what really makes you sleep 3 hours a night? Why would you sleep 3 hours a night? It's discipline. That's it. Nothing else. You cannot literally tell me that is something I've been drinking something. It's discipline. If that was not discipline, you'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna for 6 hours. I can't be asked. You will literally just fall asleep. But it's because of discipline. When your alarm goes at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's only discipline that will make you wake up. Like that's it. Apart from that, I think you will probably just continue on sleep. So it's quite important that at this stage we just maintain the discipline, and then like I said, let's just not focus on the society part that will tell parents in and keep on the family. Do they work and so do they horse tafasiga? No. Let's try and understand discipline as that's what discipline. Nga nyo nga feka tole bangi tilim nga dem fu no nga has what, let's do this. Nga nyo defa schedule nga okay yo nga defli man edit na defli. It's all part of discipline. They're making things happen, right? And then we call it proactiveness as well. Just trying to do things as they come rather than leaving, because standard beast here is good. Because if somebody comes here and say, wow, look, when I came, I was looking around, the way you arrange the books, I'm like, okay, right, this is cool. You actually choose your time. You put the books together, like you arrange these books. It's all part of discipline, right? These are the things that people look and say, my don't figure and how book yang feel it, all send bag. The way you arrange the bags, I can show it's like in a straight line. The guitar you hold, you put this guitar. So it's that's what it is. It's small things that people look at. Fine margins, right? Fine margins. Everybody got computer and they got office, they got bags and everything. But the way you put everything, the way everything is set out, look at this floor, it's like clean, like it's no cable going across. So if I come here and I'm walking and I trip on the cable, obviously, but now what you did is you make a straight line here. So these are all part of things that I think will help going forward. But again, I'm not gonna dwell too much on. I think it's more like conversation, guys, right? So yeah, I will let you guys ask any questions. Hopefully, I'll try to answer some of the questions. But I think some of the team members will be here next week. If you guys want to have them, they're really, really good guys. So I'm like the bottom of the food chain, man. I'm the Ndare. So yeah, those boys, they're brilliant guys. So they probably will give you a lot of information. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can just we can just go with the questions, and perhaps I'll maybe you wanna go.
Sheriff, before they ask any question, I wanna you to elaborate on some experiences traveling to different countries. Of course, being in the army, the experience it gives you, discipline, falas and paper. I really want you to take some few minutes just to talk about the experience. Of course, Gambia is different from a lot of countries around the world. One guy, I mean, 2 3 years ago now, la demonstration. I mean, you bari si nyom awaso kendulen gis nyom rocky. Can you just give us some perspective about what you've seen in other countries that you have been versus what you've seen in Gambia from all angles, positive and otherwise? What does Gambia has that we need to keep as a people versus what you have seen in other countries like UK and the NN plus in dem gafa?
Yes, Usman, with regards to that, I will give example of places like Kenya, which is close to home. That's like Africa, right? Um, so even Africa, Africa, like Hawaii, you can see that, we are slightly different, and then we can improve. There are a lot of room for improvement, especially for us Gambians. So there's one of the things that inspired me when I was in Kenya, and I saw, and I really, really want to take that on board as well. Is Moi. There was a village where Amundo, right? They don't have water, right? Like they don't have any water. So I think from what I understand is, again, I could be wrong here. The government, they asked the government put me in London, right? But what they said to the government what the government said to the locals was, we cannot afford to make the hole, like to dig in. Then you have to dig in, then you bring the pipes all the way from the last town to that village, right? And then the government told them, if you can dig a hole from your village to the last town, which is about that's a long stretch, right? We will provide you a water. So you know what they do, and I think that would never happen in the Gambia. I don't know if that we have that system in the Gambia. So they went to the village. I think the villagers came together. They have a common understanding. Every single individual will be involved in digging, right? So what they did is they started digging from their village going towards that town where the pipes are, Nawek pipes, if you want to call it. They are Nawek, right? And then they were able to dig in. So what they do is, mom, dad, sister, brother, everybody go and dig. If you're tired, you go home. If you bring lunch there, everybody will sit and eat. If you go to school in the morning, you come in the afternoon. If you go to school in the afternoon, you go in the morning. Like it's routine, like, and then you can see they put in a lot into it. And then when I saw that, I'm like, wow, is that something that we can actually do in the Gambia? And you take the whole village, entire village, agree on something or a town, and then do something like that. So again, that's something I've never seen it. Maybe it's been done in the Gambia, but those are things that really can inspire, because somebody can sit there and then take the ownership of everything. When what, guys, we need to stand up and we need to do this. It needs to be done. It needs to be done. So those are things you have there. I think in these areas we need to improve on. And then when it comes to the swing youth, I mean, I think we always laid back and then sort of wait for what's coming our way. So and again, I've been to other places where you see people, where you see the youth Kuneka, where everybody has something. Like he gets up in the morning. Well, my goal today is going to be this and this and this and this and this. So the question is whether it's going to be achieved or not. But he has his goal and he's going to work towards it that day, right? But then, if you stop them and say, what's your plan today? What you doing today? He will tell you straight away, straight face, or she will tell you straight face, I need to achieve this, and this is what I need to do for today. But then I think something that we always have in Gambia, we don't have a goal. We literally just go out and just be part of the ambience, saying, okay, I'm just gonna go and just chill with the thing and then, see how things goes. But it's good when I get up in the morning. I've seen people having that goal. I'm like a goal. I'm like a set of objectives. Today this is what I want to get. So if you don't achieve that, then okay, I need to work towards it next day and then see if I can achieve it. So I think that's important as well. Get up with a purpose. Don't just leave your house or your room without a purpose in the morning. So yeah, Usman, those are some of the things that perhaps I've seen in some other places, and maybe it's something that we probably can sort of use that as inspiration. Going forward.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And my lesson from that is you mentioned it briefly, which is about how New Gambians, we want to leave everything in the hands of government and other people. We want to blame our parents. We want to blame government. We want to blame our family members. Surtout ñun ñu ci diaspora bi nag xubu daas nañ every time. Waaw saa dafa bàyyi loxoom mu ngi foofu noonu nanguuta yóbbu brodaam nanguuta jàppale lii système nanguuta def lii deful lele Alassane Ba yaa ngi ree. You want to blame the brothers and the family members that are in the diaspora, right? For not doing A, B, or C. Even su nekkute ñu ci diaspora bi sax hani melbe Gambia je ni moy domandin soto sa dafa bàyyi loxoom gisuloo mu ngi seetaan maamam xoolal naka la yaayam sone naka la broda mi oncle am a ngi fii di sona, as if it is that person's responsibility. Yes, we should support each other, but can Sherrif Conte do everything for his extended family if Sherrif's father has 5 wives and 3 kids and 20 something kids? We need to be able to be realistic, not to put our responsibilities on other people or believe a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, or government should be responsible for us. Yen ñep ay mukalaf ngeen fi. You are all old enough. So instead of blaming people, you should be able to take up some of those responsibilities. And as you can see, those villagers didn't leave everything in the hands of the government. They took it up upon themselves to make sure that they get something started. If you come to Gambian Talents, what can you do at Gambian Talents to improve the status quo and the situation rather than waiting on Fatu Samba to give you assignment? If Fatu is not here like she was in yesterday, nothing goes on. I called and asked, who is here? Ñu wara ñew ñu ci bari du ñew, or when they come in by, 1 hour, 2 hours time, they are gone home. You call the office, nobody's there. That's cheating the system, and that's lack of discipline, as Sirif said. If you are disciplined, you will set goals for yourself. Fufula Daniele or Hambi. If you are disciplined, you will set goals for yourself and you will work towards those goals. And this is what happened. If you look at management, Gis Fatsamba, I'm a checklist. Gis Ida, I'm a checklist. They are working on it. We set goals for ourselves every day. These are the projects and these are the things that you need to have, and you work on those things and you will be the. And I say this to you multiple times: when you leave your house in the morning, have a program, have a project. So Gambian Talents talk and you are not doing anything iman trafen kekang is because you don't have a project. Because if you come and Fatsamba is not here, either is not here, or they are busy having a management meeting or with other people, you will sit there and wait for somebody to give you an assignment. But if you have a goal and a purpose, dohar can do assignment. And I think that is very wonderful and important. Thank you, Sherrif. Raki.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sri, for that amazing message.
Yeah, it should not be only in English. If
Okay.
you want to speak Wolof, go ahead.
I'm good in English, though. Yeah. So thank you so much for that amazing message. So, what was it like growing up as a young man? Yeah.
Right, growing as a young man, I'm still growing though. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't. That's a difficult one. Growing as a young man, you mean from? Yeah, that's a good one. Like I used to just want to pass exams, but I never had really passion to, to be in school. I'm gonna be straight with you, right? Yeah, even Gambia school. Yeah, I was someone who it was important for me to pass exams, but I was not really. I don't have the passion. It was not part of me as a passion to be sat in the classroom to getting everything on board. But I wish I had gone back to change some of those things. So if I had gone back, I think I will spend at least I will change my. Yeah, I think I will spend a bit of time in school, like in classroom when I'm in my attendance list. But like I said before, I think
Na buga madur laga dala buga maga mboyo field. Pachanga, don't play football.
So,
Don't play football. Definitely childhood for a fenye. Huh?
Momunu football. Usman cannot play football. No, I think in terms of career, and it come what you said was, even though we want to play football, all of us, Usman, we all want to play football. But I think that was a time that you need to like sort of decide whether you're gonna be always in the football field or you're gonna be sort of like try and pass your exam, right? And I think that's a problem because I've been there before. I was trying to pass exams, and that's a problem because then you understand all you're gonna learn is how to pass exams. At some point, then you need to sit. It needs to be a reality check. You need to be like, okay, really, do I need to understand the scope of everything like the education rather than just pass exams? But then I think today after high school and stuff, then I started to get a grip of myself. You know what? I need to be better than what I'm doing now just to pass exams. So again, identification is important. That's one thing. So when you set a goal, so sometimes we said you set a goal, that goal could take you 20 years to get it. But then in between the goals, you set what's called milestones, right? So milestones are the steps that will help you to get to achieve those goals, right? Milestones can be 6 months or 1 year. So okay, some of them are foundation programs to university. That's a milestone, right? Then get them university, get them access, get them degree, a BSc, right? Then there's another could be another milestone. So you can break your goal into pieces. Then it's easier to achieve ko than gonna make a consultant. A consultant probably will take you what maybe I don't know 6 years, 7 years to achieve it. It could be even 4 or 5 years maybe. But then it's important to me. So set a goal, break it down, set a milestones. Yeah. So milestone would sort of give you a shape where you're gonna go. Set those goals, and then quite often, I think what we like in the Gambia is mentorship, right? I spoke to Usman about this. Mentorship is very important. What we need to do is we need to get mentors. Even Fat Samba here with the experience, she can be mentor. She could be I think I know she's mentoring some of the girls here. Why it's important you identify. If I don't have a mentor, I could have gone to one of the guys. He's been the same career, same field where I'm trying to be. Madam Simon Maneko, you know what, man, I need a mentor. Go and talk to them. I'm not saying you go to Muhammad. I don't think he has the time, but go to somebody who is like somewhere not far from you, maybe 6 years senior. Maneko, I want you to be my mentor. Mentor is very important. Like it's extremely important, and then Nella coach a little bit, and then you talk to him, and then you go to guys. So Change projects, and I'm gonna go, you know what, I'm stuck here, and then he will be able to elevate you. So yeah, try as that age, try and inspire somebody, and then set your goal, break it down into milestones, and then more importantly, to meet get yourself a mentor. Yeah, and then yeah, I think you should be fine.
You talk about IT here. You did IT because of your professional to necessarily, or you did it because of your passion?
Um, yeah, when I was going to high school, like Usman, I was always want to go to Senegal in high school and do law, arts, those kind of things, and be a political scientist. And from I think our background, the family I come from, or I came from, like Dibakunda, we had this experience with politics and stuff. So my dad never wanted me to go to Senegal in high school. So I ended up in Gambia High School instead. Then I did a bit of science and stuff, right? So, but um, then I know political science is out of it. That's out of it, right? Because my dad never wanted me to do that. So that's why I went in and started doing yeah, IT was my passion. Since I finished high school, I just went and started IT, and till today, nothing has changed. I've never done anything apart from IT. So it's always been my passion. I identify that IT part of me, that okay, something in me saying I want to be IT. I want to work with IT, computers and stuff. And since, like I said, since 2001, after high school to 2002, I started and I never stopped. 20 years now, I think. Yeah, still pushing. Yeah, still learning.
Questions are open. Is where you can give others to ask.
Let me ask this one.
No, you later.
Okay.
You have a chance. Get in.
Ah, yeah. Assalamualaikum mala nuyu bu baax di la jërëjëfal ci sa expérience boo fi wone dama la bëgg a laajte tuuti ci wàllu service booy def fale because gis nañ ne UK complexe yi bariwuñ fa white yi ñoo gën a bari ci service bi so yow nu mel ci yow comme like yow nga nekk black ba pare nekk si service bi ba pare tamit treating bi naka la mel foofu noonu as a black ci white si noonu so
See, yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing. Like, so neke si nalige Tesco, nga neka di lige Costco, whatever. It's the same thing. Like, sometimes I'm those Jeff but guy, it's the same thing everywhere. So it is what it is. Why at the end of the day, so discipline comes in. Like, when we talk about discipline, and what you want to be, and then sometimes, I think Gambians we have the tendency then they tango um sometimes you don't have to use your whole, you can just talk to somebody as a professional, like explain, okay, what you said to me, I didn't like it, or the way you act, it was not the right act. You talk to people, communicate. I think it's better than react to it. So it's the same la Funekala, wherever you go. It's not just England. Funekala, I think it's the same system. Be in the army and like everywhere. It's the same. People are always somebody come probably will play that kind of game. But like I say, you have to know how to go around it. But it's the same. It's same everywhere. There's no exception. Yeah.
Yes, I want to ask you.
Reintroduce yourself. There are people that are watching.
People
They
know
might
me.
hear the beginning when you introduce yourself. So
Man-
please.
Okay, I am still Isa Tukuli. Yes, I want to ask you with regards to you said you wanted to study political science, but because of the background at home, when it comes to how politics is done and to me, it's like your dreams got shattered because you wanted to do something, but then your dad didn't allow you to do it, and we have a whole lot of young people out there who wanted to do whether you want to be a footballer, whether you want to be a lawyer or so, but then it's like they don't allow you to do it because of one or two reasons. For example, when I finished school, I really wanted to study law, but unfortunately they are like you lawyer ka wuliafo so what motivated you most to leave your dream because you wanted to do political science and you wanted to become a politician, of course, and you now become an engineer or a professor or whatsoever in computer or something.
I'm not a professional. I'm a student. No, not necessarily the dream got shattered. I think when you are at that stage, remember that was back in middle school, so it was not high school. So it was kind of like you sort of like think about something or you see something. Like for me, it was more like your name is Sherrif Mustapha Dibba or Sherrif Dibba, and then you want to be okay, you want to be like your uncle, so, maybe that's kind of thing, right? So it was something that it was. I thought about it properly. It's not something that I'm like I've been there, like like when you look at something, look alike, right? So when you go, so if I want to be a journalist, for example, it's my dream, right? I'll come to Gambian Talents TV, right, for a week, yeah, and I'll have a chat with Ida Samba, all of you guys. I'll be coming here every day for 1 week, and I will see how it is like. So it's like a look alike, and I will be like, this is what I want to be. So you sure of what you want to be, right? But back in it was in middle school, right? You're not really sure what you want to be. It's just the thought of it or seeing somebody talking and like, oh, it's nice to actual. So there was no thought into it, like proper thought into it. You have not actually looked into it. You just something like, I think it'd be nice to be this, like back in the day. So the dream was not shattered at all. It was then when you go to high school, you sort of like you look at things, then you become more mature. I think then you're like 17, 18, 19, something like that. Yeah. Especially I think 18 year you finish high school, then you become a bit mature and then this is when you start like really actually getting grip of things because then a doctor or a lawyer who would talk to you and said, "Oh yeah, lawyer, you can be this. You study. It takes you 6 years to study." But back in middle school, even if I wanted to be a politician, if somebody told me, it would take you 6 years to be a politician, I'm like, okay, no, 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 I don't want it. So it's more like
Or is it because the political atmosphere of the Gambia that wasn't favorable?
no,
Yes.
no, no, I don't think because we're young as well. That's not something that you think about like what's going on in the Gambia. It's more like I don't think like I said again, when you're mature enough, like you go to you're 18, 19, 20. This is when you can actually hear about, okay, something happened somewhere, something happened to someone. Then you start getting scared, right? But at middle school, we like what 12, 11, 12, 13. You don't really think about those things, right? For you, it's more about the name of it, like I want to be a political scientist, right? Something like that, right? Yeah. So
Assalamualaikum askan bi ñuy seetaan man la Awa Sow Sherrif nga nekk ami boo xamante ne ràññee nañ la ci sa yar ak teggin tey boo ñu doon wax tey ok waaw moom dafa la xam moo doon wax ko waaw léegi métier bi daal am nga ci yar am ci teggin ndax loo xamante ne danga ko doonu ci sa ay waajur la wala loo xam ne lu la dab la.
I think that part, some people said I'm not really disciplined, but yeah, thanks for the compliment. I think that's a big compliment. Yeah, but I know I don't necessarily think it is what it is like. Discipline, come like you said. Sometimes some people will tell you, that, okay, this guy has come. Like I said again, how we define discipline, right? Some people said, "Sherrif, I'm disciplined." Yeah, but in my own way, because I want to get something, I'll be disciplined. I'm going to want to right? Yeah, that's what it is, right? So you don't have to be disciplined like a quiet or talk to people. You don't look at them in the faces. But it's about you knowing what you want, right? And then you have to be disciplined in it because then you will fail, right? So that's why it is. So it's more like your self goal be more than discipline rather than than more discipline. Actually, no, it's difficult when there's more you than more discipline. I know we all keep saying that, but really, can they discipline you? Really, it's up to you, right? So then I'm 19, 20, you do your thing, right? So, so it's your and that most of the time, yeah. Even though they get you kid and everything, that helps, right? It's always there. And then I think that's something that you always carry with you. But what's important is your own discipline and have something and you get and do you go out and get it done. So you see it's your self discipline there, right? Yeah.
Sherrif, thank you. Believe na ne session be am na importance bu baax a baax. But one thing luma xam be xam moo nekk lu laak si sun dëkk bi moo nekk young people, especially if you're doing free program like ours. Lu nekk di def nii. Sorry to say, and I'm not mentioning anybody's name, but xale Gambia tey rek ñu ngi doon waxtaan, I think man la Awa ak Sherrif together with Nabiya ma ne leen ne xale yu bari duñ dee xam seen soxla. Dundee xam lu leen tax a jóg soo gisee tey nit mu nekk si university bi mu fay course let's say 35,000 du bugga 35 boobu mu raw ko su ne course bi tey moo di dama am classe dangaa daw rawatina nag bu nekkee sa papa moo koy fay oo sa yaay oo sa broda waaye su dee den la ko sponsor you don't care su ma feeling it's okay soo ñëwee si internship bu mel ne bu Pa Ousmane di def sometimes dama di xuloo ak Pa Ousmane si loolu because da gis yéen young people yoo xam ne honestly dundee am fula ak fayda when it comes to training bi danga gis tey nga ñëw ëllëg doo ñëw o nit mu jox la opportunité ne la tey ni nga musóoroo ni musóor bi baaxut waruloo musóor danga war a ñii den mun a sabote ñii den mun a wax o kii every time daf maa wax defal lii defal lii defal lii defal lii o daf maa jox soo mel ne liggéey ba turu li nga def discipline bi nga wane mun na laa yóbbu fu rëy foo xam ne yow sa fogewuloo ko so dinaa bëgga ñu waxtaan tuuti si yëfi ñit yi dee jël discipline as ok den maa jël advantage di nga gis tey nga am boss boo xam ne mun na laa xool everyday nga def lu wrong mu xool la mu seetaan la den day gis loolu sa liggéeykaay am na yenn boss yoo xam ne they don't care na staff bi liggéey na liggéeyut weer bi na dee moom boss bi moom moo nekk am di highest salary moom loolu moo ko itteel ba di nga gis yenn place yoo xam ne boss bi believe si salary am nan la believe moo nekk ku nekk mu wax la dëgga but in Gambia especially us young people from myself so waxee ñit dëgga rek mu ne kii dafa mun a query rek kii lu nekk mu wax lan ngay diktal xale yi su waree ñëw si wàllum discipline mu jot maa ngi dégg si sa wax nga ne waruloo xaar ñu ne la lii danga ko war a def soo duggee si wanag bi nga gis ne wanag bi dafa tëlim nga ne xaaral ma fompa xaaral ma def lii xaaral ma def lii yes ah dene yow doo bëgg a wax lan nga dee def waaye foog naa ne Pa Ousmane mi nga xam ne moom xam nga Pa Ousmane moom he is critical moom lu mu gis rek daf ko dee wax so su toogee mu wax ne da nga baax o da nga def lii da nga def lii I believe ne lu am la so da nga naa xulo yes so dama bëgg nga waxal young people bi when it comes to discipline su la ñu di la guide no te use wa yaa ngi sol black àndut yellow moo ànda o blue moo ànda o pink moo ànda kooku melut ne daf la bañ ba daf la bëgg instead
Thanks. I think there's so many questions there. Well, bunch of yeah, you put them together. I'm not I don't think I'm qualified to advise anyone here. Why? I would just say what I think. Right? Really, I'm not qualified to advise. Why? What I can say is, I think your question is very important, Lord. Like, I think it's very, very important. Um, I think in a work environment, what needs to be clear more in it. Everybody needs to know your role for the start, and then tell me. In order for you to look after something that's looking after you, you need to take ownership, right? Safety is key. Manola, that's how I see it. Everything that has to do with safety, it has to be clean. It has to be there. So safety can be trip hazards, it can be anything something that will fall on your head, Muganda, or on a trip. Or even get them to toilet, or like I said before, you go somewhere where it needs to be clean and clean. I think that's all part of safety, right? Health and safety. Then you put the health part of it, right? That's quite integral. And I think as well, Law of Moitamid, sometimes we need to separate our emotions out of things. If someone is my senior, more something needs to be done outside the office, then we go and party, we do all things, right? But then soon what needs to be done, the flat team, you should be able to come and tell, boy, this has not been done, the file needs to be done ASAP, because it's supposed to be done. It needs to be done. So don't take it as he's the smart check. He's the smart trying to pick on me. No, but I think in Gambia that's a problem. It's like you cannot tell anybody. In his Nisasoko Faisa, you have to like beg him to do something for you. What about the flan? Don't force it. No, it's like, but you have to do it. Like so, yeah. So I think if you just do what you need to do. But communicate is important. Communicate. I think that's important. That's what we lack. So right now, if I'm not gonna come, I'm gonna text you guys and say, guys, I'm not gonna make it. Communication is key. Like if you're not gonna do, if even Lisa, you're not gonna clean something or you're gonna leave your camera somewhere, call that guy and then guys, you know what? I had to rush. I'm gonna leave this here. Whoever is coming now, go and get it sorted now. Like get someone to get on it. You don't have to do everything. Like literally, you don't have to do everything. You can tell guys, delegate people and say, you know what, go and get this fixed, man. I'm going. Doesn't matter. Samuna neka fast boss or Usman. What can I need to leave now because it's important. There's something going on. Then someone will take over. What is not important? Something I think what we do is, and then they buy something and then without telling anyone, pretending that nobody will know about it, and then what that would do, it would bring sort of like no more in the water trust issues la mo ini. One. Number two, by the far delay send what it can do as well is the far inefficiency la mo ini, because then that thing will not get done on time, even though somebody will take it later, but it will not be done on time. So it's important today. You cannot take up something, just communicate out, delegate to people. Doesn't matter, sir. The more senior or more boss. What can I need to go because somebody passed away. I need to be there, or something. I need to be somewhere right now, or just communicate. Or there's more behind meeting, and I need to lie down now. So or binal email nga send cock and then you move on. But communication is key. Yeah. So I think it has to do with communication and how we, like I say, when somebody's telling you something, don't look at the person as key, the formula dictate. No, understand the message. So try and listen to what she said, not look at her face. You know what? Mungi nyangal, mungi wahaman, mungi mer. And I think we read too much into people's face on the side of her mer, mungi wahaman, this, that. So just listen to what she's saying and then you take it on board and go, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get that done. Yeah, that's it, basically. Yeah, but like I'm trying to, but I don't think I'm qualified to give any professional advice on these things. So I'm just, I'm just.
I have another one. If there is no other question, can I
ask?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Mr. Sherrif, someone who wants to come up, someone who admire you, what's the perfect way they should follow?
Yeah, I think you are my admiration. I think I would admire you rather than used to be the other way around. Used to say the other way around. No, yeah, I don't know if you read into what I have done or something I'm doing, but there are a lot of people here you can admire as well. So I'm not the billionaire of everything. So there are a lot of people, especially because what's important here is people you can approach as well and talk to them. So I probably will tell you, oh, I've done this, like a conversation, just give you what I've done or things that I've been through. Why more importantly, there are a lot of very good people in the country here in your area. They are there, and these are people you can always approach, like seriously. And then people, just talk to them. One or two people. If you go to the first one, hey Namunela, I'm a busy or something, then go to the next one. Hopefully the next one will help you out. But again, yeah, go to the past and talk to them or read about them. Some people they put a lot of stuff on TikTok, so just they must send TikTok and follow them and then read about their profile and maybe you find. Man, I don't have a lot of information online or social media, so it's just my picture of myself and perhaps one or two things. But yeah, but there are a lot of people here potentially. They are very very good. Like when those people are my I look at them like my small kilify. So we can all share that information. Then we know them cigar, and then we can get some inspiration from them. Yeah. So those are the experts there. Yeah. But go talk to them. Yeah. Yeah. And then.
Sherrif, the other one that I want to ask is so the def journalism, so the videography, liggéey bi yomb dafa stress, and sometimes su ma gisee ñiti online ñu ne Fatou dafa nice dama dee ree dama dee wane man maa nekk the most difficult person man suma bopp xam naa loolu but dangaa gis ne young people bi comme sooy def media di nga am kenn koo xam ne hit na su la dee seetaan yow rek la bañ am na kenn koo xam ne su la dee seetaan yow rek la bugga so da nga gis ne sooy interview sa kanam bi ndax danga ko war a jël nga stress ko su dee let's say for exemple bëgguloo dem si programme A yaa ngi toog let's say Aïssa moo war a dem Adama Barrow and unfortunately moom miigut ko so ñu ne la demal Adama Barrow nga ne man duma dee cover politique so man bu leen ma yóbbu foofu noonu ndax soo demee sa kanam bi da nga war a dem rek di ko joxe stress o ndax naka la fa war a demee because da nga gis young people yoo xam ne sometimes ñu ngi interview sax di nga gis ne kii she's not happy or kii lu moo def nii dafa mel ni bugut koo def or whatsoever or nga jox ko questions moom mu turn things upside down ndax loolu tamit si lack of discipline la bokka ndax sa boss la joxee directive da nga war a def lu mu la jox su dee danga si am but how about nga discuss ko moom balaa ngaa dem dan nga dem ba foofu noonu nga change ko lan ngay wax young people when it comes to boss mu jox la liggéey boo war a def nga dem nga toon ko and tamit soo fiile ne lii dafa wrong yow nga am a better idea don't you think nga share ko su ko defee ngeen bokk the same idea na loolu yëpp si level of discipline la bokk
You're nigga, I'm gonna put it in the corner here. Yeah, so yeah, to be honest, I don't know anything about journalism. Like seriously, I just watch you guys on TV, and I really like what you guys do. Right, I love it. I follow you guys. I watch YouTube and all that. Right, Facebook, YouTube. I'm a big follower of all these talent, Gamma talents, and all the places. Why? I think again, no nekadiwa. Like when you communicate somebody and somebody trying to say that what you say to the person, he's munkojele nenen, and you trying to give him a better idea. I think our our facial expression is very important. I mean, man, this is how I see. Man, them even to a restaurant fee, them food, that or something. Kuy sabs, kula sabs, living amut. Wow, noon rek, and then like just like that. Fun la komuna me how masa, and that's it. Mungsi phone me. It's like it's smile. It's not I'm gonna cheese or anything. You can smile. It's not gonna cost anything. Yeah. So I think that's important. What time it come, so naked like a supervisor or manager fee, and then you communicate to somebody. Moment, what he can do is on, or he can do is I mean, I get back to you and then like sort of like be more be professional. Like talk to the person, and respond to her. When I go, I know, you know what I think because she definitely will listen to you. Right? So I'm not go ahead. Even you were saying what you're supposed to think, right words, but your facial expression is not even helping because you're like frowning your face or you're trying to answer voice tone, but it's not helping. So all that sometimes the enemy miscommunicate. Now two people are talking about the same thing. They're sort of in the same line, but the fun, the way they compose themselves. I think that's the word I was looking for. Composure is important. Like when some people, I would tell you those people, they always talk the same way. Is in certain temperature, like 180 degrees, they will still maintain their composure. They almost use a new or new raise their voice, and they will try and put their point across, and they will repeatedly try to do the same thing over and over. You can stop them and tell them what they say, and they will tell you the same thing and in a very composed manner. So I think that's important. I think if you do, I think communication, I think that's something that they always do, like to communicate to people, how to compose yourself, how to try and put a message across, how to put your point across without actually with a very good facial expression. I think one thing that what we have in our society more we don't look at each other. So we tend to like say, no, especially we think that's discipline, right? But it's important. So if you go to other places, then this guy is what's wrong with the person? Like he's not looking at me. I'm talking to him. So you disrespecting them. So it's the opposite, right? So film so kada film magdafane yo mga hayo nga mga call si buti. Why why yeah, communication is important. You need to look because maybe man may say you were talking why if I'm looking at you mungajis you can see me you can mungane okay this guy is actually looking at me. So it's important to look at somebody's face, not talk to the person. So it's all come down to the communication channel. You need to try and be not to be farm, not be farm what you say, but don't try and sort of like take anything out of ordinary. Ki mo ngi wahaman dafa mel dafa mer. We do that a lot, no. And then also tamit what try and listen. Sometimes it's good. I mean, when I just take a camera and record some of diglu. Sometimes some people when they talk they think they are normal when it's like when you play it for yourself then oh okay that was bit the tone was not the right tone. So communication is key. I think that's something one that's the common integration definitely send course you it would be nice and when I'm not trained I'm not trained communicator or anything, but I can see some of you guys in the camera the way you communicate it's very nice.
Yeah, but sometimes you also communicate with people and they think you're bored. You're bored. Maybe I am talking to Ida and she didn't do something right, and I'm like, no, definitely because Zumini will definitely, and it's like, okay, Hamnako already or Diganala. And the next minute, when you what, na fake ko the same thing. You only ko try couldn't explain right. Mom, what should you do?
Yeah, you have to tell the person. The thing is, you have to tell the person. Obviously, what can you know what? I'm trying to reach somewhere with you where you're trying to stop it because young man, I know. We do that a lot. I do that sometimes. I know. But you need to tell them, you know what? You need to listen to everything I'm saying. You need to take on board, learn half of what I'm saying, and try to continue. Because what will happen? You're gonna get stuck again. So Degluma, I'm gonna explain. So that's something we call a process, right? Some A to Z is a process, right? So when you explain something to people, you need to make them wait to understand, to hear the entire process. So process is important. So trying to do the whole process, but I'm not move on. So it's important to make a question. I'm not trying to put you down. I think again, communicate. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just trying to explain how it is because I think one of the things I'm doing as a supervisor, I'm trying to supervise you so you have these things done. So communicate to them. Just tell them, I'm not trying to put you down. Sometimes some people need that. They need somebody to tell you, I'm not trying to do something to you. I'm just trying to help you. That's it. And it's all about communication. Why, at the end of the day, the head there, you're going to try and just be below at the same time. So just try not to be, just try and be within, and you can be firm, but you have to be try and understand everybody how they operate, and then communicate to the way they want. You think you can put your message across to them. Yeah.
Can I go on?
Yeah. Okay, what I want to ask is that are you still a soldier? Because I have a question pertinent here.
I left now. I left.
Okay. What I want to know is that were you studying IT when you were a soldier, or did you wait until you finish your career as a soldier and then you studied IT?
Yeah. So about my past. So I finished high school. I went to Quantum Associates. And I did IT 2002, that kind of time. I did all these IT skills. Then I did CCNA, Cisco, graduates, and then did A plus certification. Did all these IMIs, free. It's called advanced. It's called Institute for the Management of Information Systems. I did all that. Then I went to UK. I studied computers. I did ITIS, Information Technology Systems, a degree there and stuff. And then I joined the army. So, but I joined the army as a communication system engineer. So again, I was doing some IT stuff, bit of IT and more of communication, right? So I was always doing IT even when I was in the army. So it's always been part of integral. It's always been part of me. And as soon as I left, I went to university again, and I to do my computer science degree again, and yeah. So it's always been evolution. I've always been always part of me. So I never left IT, right? So even in the army, I was doing, yeah. So I never left the field. So every day, every time I was, I kept doing courses, like, because part of it you need to, like, sort of do some skills, IT skills there and there. So it was always part of it, part of the process being, yeah. So it was my main job in the IT in the army is so communication system engineer. So it's signaler in a nutshell, right? Signals, yeah.
Still Alassane Bala. Dama la doon laajte ci wàllu lan mooy differentiate between Gambia youth or children and dëkk yoo xamante ni jaar nga fa seen wàllu discipline ak seen educational background bi lan mooy differentiate.
Right. Again, I'm gonna say my opinion, right? I've not done any study on this thing to understand how this thing was, right? So, observation law and my opinion, and so when it comes to some places I've seen, especially I always give example Kenya. So like I said, I think that is an advantage they have as well. So sometimes you can't really put some blames in Gambia that they have universities, not a university, but they have universities, right, in Kenya. So that makes life a lot easier for them. So compared to we have one uni, right? And then everyone has to go to that uni, or you go to Ghana or Sierra Leone or UK, right? But they have different universities. I think in every region, I think they have a university there. You can Google it. I think you will see that they have so many universities. I think, yeah. So I think that makes life easier for them. And then I think what also is inspiring for them is some of these things they start them back in high school. So it's like an extension that will take you to university. So I think, for example, if like you guys are doing journalism, I don't know if there's a journalism stuff in high school. I don't think I'm doing journalism. So it's like when you finish high school, you have to make a line and okay, I'm done high school. Everything I learn, I'm not gonna apply it. Most likely, I'm just gonna be a journalist. Okay, what's journalism? I'm gonna any exposure to journalism before. So sometimes you go into it and realize that, this is not for me. And then because of fee, you sort of like leaving, that earning that you're doing, you don't want to stop what you're doing. You end up continue what you do. So it's something that I think it needs to go back to high school level. Sort of people exposed to some of these things that we end up doing, like sort of like an understanding of okay, how is it to be a journalist, and then you need to know what areas that fanga what a jar jar you what a def. Even the same thing with being a medic or what's called to be a doctor. So we study medicine. Those are things you understand. Okay, I need to go to school for 6 years, then I need to do whatever they call foundation program. It's important to have the process of whether you get a little bit of exposure or them study medicine, why just get an insight of how it is. But them the them high school then you just go to the university, look at the courses and okay, nice political science, and then you just pick one without any exposure, right? So I think that's something that they always have, especially in some places. Then they am then they am like in high school, then they have computer science. So imagine you did computer science high school. So then university is like you already know a lot of the things. So it's just to certificate, NAM certificate. Some of the boys when you meet them in uni, from other countries, they're really good because they will tell you, you know what, I studied Java in high school. So they do 3 years in Java. You just started Java day one. So obviously those people they are programming. You're you're just learning how to print a single statement. So yeah, that's difficult. So I think maybe I don't know. Again, I'm not qualified to advise. I'm just narrating as I go how I think and also my opinion about how I think. But don't take anything out of it. It's not nothing has been censored here. Nothing has been I don't know. I'm not deal any meaningful statistics on it. So it's just my opinion on it and that's my guesses. Yeah.
I just picked something out of what Sirif said, and I want to bring it to you guys' attention. Chungen Baya held consistently. He keeps talking about how he is not the professional. He is not fit to advise. It's not his responsibility. He's giving his opinion. Belegini, those were the last things Yumwah Alabanta Wolle Fola. That should be a lesson. It doesn't matter whether he has the primary information. It still comes back to the discipline we are talking about. And so a soldier, there is anything that they do to you, that's one thing, which is to instill discipline in you, to know bureaucracy, to follow chain of command, and also know ne ku nekk danga am cër te ku nekk dañ ko war a bàyyi cëram. That is what he's bringing out there. So those of you that have experiences, several people amongst you have experience where nga dem def dara wala nga involve fi dara, the next minute need call la wala need confront la, whether it's a journalist that contacts you or whether it's another office or even security, and nga buga vindicate sa bopa or exonerate sa bopa, commencé di defensive di wax ne ma def li wala li lele, or put the blame on the next person. We have had this class where I told you and we've shared with you that you are not expected to tell anybody or to give out any information, especially on behalf of the institution, because then I'm bureaucracy and you need guidance. The bossy might be able to guide you and walk you through, even if you are the right person to answer the question. So bureaucracy dafa am solo, understanding the leader suma chairman waruma ko wax, so nekkee si always need ñëw laaj la. It's all part of the humility and discipline. And I just wanted to capture that. I'm not sure if you guys captured it, but what is prominent in his discussion is him continuing to say, ne, I don't have the authority. I'm not fit to advise from that technical perspective. Even so, I'm a bisah. And that is what he's trying to do. Anything that is to be given has to be fact-based and it has to be factual. Law hamrek aglinga amlul ngawarawa. I just wanted to make sure that folks capture that part.
Okay. So,
Yeah, you should now give at least you have asked 2 questions.
Like-
3. Yeah, so allow her and then later.
Well, Sherrif, lan moo nekkoon di most difficult part si IT bala nga come doon li nga nekk tey?
What is the difficult part in IT? Again, everyone is different, right? So I will say something now, and then perhaps that will be easiest for you. And then so yeah, so people are different the way we understand things, right? So for me, I have to say, programming was tough, but then I overcame the programming part of life. Why? Another thing that sometimes I'm saying it's hard more project management, like when you have to make a project, right? When you have to then when you want to design a software. So not the construction part, why the design is always difficult. But that's when you have to write all these stuffs plan. That's when you sit here but 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and I can draw the design. This what I mean design, I mean like I put a plan, a project plan, plan exactly how your project is gonna run. So what I mean by that, so then then I develop a piece of software, right? So needs to them maybe do software, we click on the on the web page. From the first click, them dev transaction, yep, until the person exit your website. How things gonna go? It's like a scenario. It's like if I come to you and say to you, okay, so if you enter Gambian Talent TV, first thing there will be a table on the right. The table, you sign your name on it. You live you when you sign, you put your phone down there, and then you move in, and then you come to the next table and you say hello. You get a bottle of water, and then you come inside, and there's a studio on the right. So that's the process. Then you come through. Then you need to explain and write down every single step that your software will do. So that's why when you design a software, you have actors. So actors, then you have a use case. A use case will say, for example, you go to a bank, you say, okay, you go to the till, and then you deposit some money to the till. Then the till the teller the guy in the till will count the money. So that process needs to be written and needs to be explained. So this is how softwares are built. So that's always the hardest part because you need to make stories. You need to explain exactly. And then someone will come to you and say, but there is no need for the person to do this again because that will be a repetition. How about I cut that off from your program? and then you keep going. But you have to explain, you have to write a lot of information. So it's always a difficult thing for me. I think even though you still have to do it, but it's always a challenge. Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. But again, it could be different for you as well. You can go and tell me something different. So it's always different, right? So.
Any other question different from Yusufa?
Yusufa, is yours.
Okay. Next mine then. Talking about your school career, you say you was not a serious student, but you good in class. Is it because of the learning, our Gambian learning way so far? That's why you wanted to. You was not a good serious student, or is that why some students drop out of school? Because when you see in our society now, you see a lot of students, a lot of young people will drop out of school. Even when you ask them why did you drop out of school, they were like, "Ah, jangan game mo lolo." Yeah, yeah.
No, so that word serious, I'm gonna disqualify that. It's not like I was not serious in school. So what I said was I was it was important for me to pass the exams. That was important for me. So what is not really important for me is attendance, to be sat in the class, because that was not really something I always want to do, sit in the classroom and listen to the lecturers. Even now, if I do it, I fall asleep in the classroom. So, but it was important for me to pass the exam. So the word not serious in school, you can disqualify that. I was serious because I want to pass exams. It was important for me to pass the exams and for my family as well. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Any other question? Pause, ma'am. Yeah, take the mic.
Comme dafa am damay dellu gannaaw ci loo waxoon ci wàllu jàppalante bi comme wàllu nawek ci beneen dëkk boo leen demoon fekk amul courant ay yooyu waa amul ndox Gambia si comme like si provinces yi some of the villages dañ dee def loolu noonu comme ñoom fekkee nguur musut faa def dara understand nga waaye comme like suñu amee project dañ am ay compagnie yoo xamante ni comme association yoo xamante ni dañ dee mën a contribute every month waaye suñ contribute comme suñu amee sponsor o ndimbal dañ dee mën a joxe loolu si dëkk bi waaye dëkk bi ñoom ñooy def gas bi ñooy def liggéey boo xamante ni comme brique ay yooyu noonu waaye fekkee yéen xaalis bi rek ngeen di provide ñoom loolu moom am na si province si tamit fii Gambia yeah.
Mr. Drew?
Yes, Fatu.
All right, hold on. Binta want to say something.
Sherrif man lu ma la bëggoon a laajte moo nekk def nga IT génn si IT dem si service bi bàyyaat nga service di defati leneen yow loo gis si service bi ba nga war a bàyyi service bi daf la itelut wala li nga nekk di def léegi moo la gën a ite service bi.
Yeah, no, this service question always come back. Yeah, I left. Yeah, it's part of the process. I mean, I join and then you leave, right? It's a process, right? You're in Gambia, you left Gambia, you go to UK, and then you come back and live in the Gambia. So it's all part of the process. So it's part of the process. So it's not like that it will or anything. It's just part of the process. You go in, you leave at some point. You want to do something. So
Yeah, Mr. Drew?
Yes, so like let me say this that I may not also have the authority to say that on behalf of Sherrif, but then service B is a contract, if I am right, Sherrif, right?
yes, sir, but you can stay as long as you want.
Yes, you can stay. You can stay, but then to that contract, yeah, you can leave, right?
If you want.
Yes, if you want.
Something like
I mean, that's exactly what I am trying to say. That is a contract, and if your contract is finished, you can leave if you want to leave. So vacate is a contract with Jehna.
Yeah,
But do you have the authority to leave? Let me ask you this, Sherrif, and I'm glad that you even mentioned that. Do you have the? Can you leave before the contract begin?
Okay.
If you are in the military, or are there consequences if you do so?
Okay. Now we are doing this. This is gonna be Army Chan now. Okay. So what happened is so join the army be, I think, if I remember, still 4 years minimum. I could be wrong. Somebody will just text and say, Sherrif, I think you're wrong, but maybe I'm right. I'm hoping that I'm right. So there is a minimum requirement that you need to serve, Fagna, and I think that's still the policy. Then that 4 years, yeah, you just have to give 1 year notice. Like, for example, if I want to leave the army in January 2023, today, I'll go and sign off. Then that means I'm going to spend my last year. So you give a notice, right? You don't just walk out and say, next week, mine again. I know. So, but after that 4 years, you can leave anytime, right? So that's it. So you're
So,
not.
Sheriff, you may think it's not related, but it's very related, whether it's the army or what we are doing here. In fact,
Yeah.
this internship, we have a minimum of 1 year, and they all signed off on it, and they can stay if they finish. But a good number of them actually will leave or break the terms of it before the time gets there, before the time
Yeah.
ends. So I'm asking because that question is very important. We go through it all the time with people signing up for the internship before the term ends. Whatever anybody decide to leave, then you buy or then you stop the or whatsoever. But there are consequences. I wasn't even pushing you to talk about the actual 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. But then that's what it is everywhere. It's a contract that you sign, and a contract. The point that I'm trying to make clear is a contract is meant to be fulfilled.
Yeah,
And
I
there are
think.
consequences if you don't follow through or fulfill your
Yeah.
agreement.
I think what Usman is saying is the reason why they have this term set is they have a program. Reason why they have a program is to make sure when you come through that process, the intern process, when they say a minimum is 6 months, so they will try to give you everything that you need for that 6 months. So leaving halfway through, that means you're not qualified. So they may out there is a reputation that you're gonna carry. Oh man, I came from Gambian Talents TV, and then okay, do you know how to do this? No, but then I thought you done your intern with there. Why yeah, for the you the jungle that no, because you are not ready yet, right? I think then you wanna talk hard, wait and until the time comes in. Like I said, it's a package, right? You can't just come and eat 2 eggs and leave the rest. I just want the eggs, boom up on the. You have to take the whole package. If you agree to go and do intern, there is a reason why they set up the intern period. More than they have a minimum period. So I think it's important and people need to understand that we're not trying to keep you here because we want you to be here and looking at each other. We're keeping you here because we want you to get that package. Yo, yeah, I'm talking about your package with that's it. Now, if you want to do anything, you do it. It's there for a reason, right? It's not just to sort of keep you here and somebody see, oh, you're good, you're Munganyo, you can come to my office and work for me. And you need to honor that, right? Man, I had that similar situation when I finished school and I did my computer courses and I was working for a company here. It's called social security, right? And then you met this big this consultancy firm, IT firm. They see you like, oh yeah, I really like what you're doing. Can you come and work for me? I give you $10,000 a month, yara yara. But then it's again the discipline would comes in. You're like, I need to achieve something here. I already, this is everything about me is because of this corporation or this institution. So I cannot just leave that. At least you need to have like talk to them and say, you know what, in 2 years time I want to go, I want to communicate to them and say in 2 years time I want to move on, I want to go and work for something else, someone else. At least I want to climb up somewhere. And then they will look at you and say, okay, it's possible, but this and this and this and this. So because they invest into you. Again, Usman is investing to everyone here. He's investing to you guys. Even what we're doing is investment, like sort of share his experience with you guys. When I don't have a lot to share, but I can just say maybe a few things I can say. Yeah. So he's investing it. He's doing his investment into you guys. So I think, yeah, it's important for him. We just then can achieve something in the future and don't rush it. Just wait for it. When you're ready, you're ready.
And I want to say that and give two examples. As we speak, yesterday we were supposed to honor one of them, Musukeba Job, who was here and gave us 6 months notice to say by the end of December, I'm leaving. And because she did it the right way, we were going to give her her certificate immediately, give her a letter of recommendation, and of course, gifts, just because of how she did it the right way. Versus the other person who decided to leave 6 months prior to their internship being finished, and the next minute saying that not long ago the person contacted me and said, I need my certificate. because the person keeps talking about being at Gambian Talents, and there's a need for you to be able to show this on paper. What they don't understand is, for the most part, you can go and share all the links you want. Paper is very important in everything to say that you have it. So the person came back to me and said, and the management, and said, I need a certificate. I said, what did you do that make you deserve a certificate? Said, well, I have been here around for 1 year. I said, how often were you coming? You have a commitment, number of days that you should come, times that you should come, projects you should be engaged in. Tey su la neexee nga ñëw ëllëg doo ñëw. You come this week, next week you don't come, 2 weeks time you would not come, 3 weeks you would not come. Management engage you multiple times. I engage you multiple times. Unfortunately, we don't give out our recommendation letter like that, and we don't give out a certificate just like that. You have to earn it in order for it to be given to you. And this is the way to go. So when I asked that question, Sirif, it was definitely important you answered it. I'm glad that Miss Baji asked the question about the soldier and how you left. It's actually a contract, and the importance of this is, the takeaway message is, it's important to fulfill a contract and stick to the terms and conditions of it. Thank you.
So I think I have a last question pertaining to the dress code, because we would see young people, sometimes wanting to do journalism, and you want to dress anyhow. Like, for instance, if you were to go to the state house, there are certain dress codes that you should not wear, or you should not do. Sometimes you see girls, they would have their nakalabuna bakan, it's nice to some, and you will see some men, saying nakala buna nopa touch be and all that, and people don't know at official level how you should dress and how you should not dress. And sometimes nga gis nit ko xamne ko jogon la before, like sun mas, but so demé be duga ci yena sa den liggéey da nga am ko change lu bari. But sometimes so ko dé def with young people, dañu wone ki dafa bëgg man ma tuoy, dafa bëgg duma solo, duma def li, duma def lele. So is it part of the discipline when it comes to the dress code? And for now, Mr. Juf tamit was something Monica that has to do with nit mu am contract or mu def internship, and bala internship bi di je nga hire, let's say man ak Aida ñu nekk fi, Aida mu ngi liggéey maa ngi liggéey, nga ñëw nga ne Aida moom laa employ after the internship, Aida laa employ, Fatou mi ne man maa dee gën a liggéey Aida, lu tax ñu war a employ Aida? Don't you think you have to look at yourself again? Nga revisit sa bopp nga xool lan nga dee def loo xam ne it's right or it's wrong. And don't you think that young people should start to question themselves when it comes to what they're doing? Ndax lu ñoo def yil na dividends, ndax lu ñoo def nañ show boo xam ne ñi ci seetaan nañ ko, def nañ call boo xam ne show boo xam ne nga ne call us call and amuloo benn caller, fooguloo ne yow yaa nekk di def loo xam ne it's wrong, and musuloo toog sa boss mu laajte la, fooguloo ne yow tam yaa nekkut si biir.
Surrounded by journalists. I think this is it's gonna be a nightmare tonight. Having surrounded by journalists, working loud, bombarded with questions. I'm gonna start with the dress code. I remember you saying about dress code. For me, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't look at people with the dress code a lot. So when you say dress code, you said sometimes we talk about clothes yourself, buba dala, and it can also be a dress code as in go or jigen bona back and beyond, then go touch or rasta and stuff. I don't really judge people, and I don't look at that, to be honest. As long as you looking clean and you find you're sober and everything, I think for me I'm good with that. But then again, it's up to the Kuneka Amga reason why. Even more come like in England, they have a uniform, right? But they have a reason for uniform, right? And then Gambia, in schools, we wear uniform, right? They have a reason for it. I think they're trying to break that gap, poverty, because otherwise some people struggle to even wear clothes in your school. So everybody become one at school, right? So some places like Denmark, Scandinavia, I'm a uniform. Everybody just wear whatever you want to wear and I solo them, right? And that's their system, right? I think maybe Senegal, I don't know, maybe. But then for me, it comes down to as an institution, not have a code of conduct. And okay, code of conduct, if I'm dressed, if I'm the way you carry yourself at workplace. So when it comes to that dress part, and what do you think, if there's and management, and then what do you expect from your people? Some will say, we want you can rasta mungam rasta, you just have to look decent, because what we don't want as well is get them want to interview the president, and then you have sober, or so you're looking rough, sort of, but so mga rasta, but you just have to look, decent and clean up, tidy up, or whatever. So again, it depends entirely on the management, what they want from you, what's expected from you. So you need to, those guidelines need to be there. Like, you need to be, one, don't wear earring, two, don't do rust. You need to write it down, state it, don't expect them to know.
So if you write it down and the person is still doing it, what should you do?
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. If it's there, it's a code of conduct. A code of conduct. Like, it's like, what needs to happen, it needs to be happen. It needs to happen. You don't do it. You don't do it. You don't go. That's it. And then the failure to do your job, is there is an action to it. And when it comes, I think Usman was talking about the length of the internship, Kubuga certificate, and do they know so often. I don't know, something like that online. Even in universities, there is a requirement how many hours you should study before you be awarded something. It's not about your yeah, I'm forced or something. It's about hours you want to study. Sometimes they will put it out there. You need this number of hours. So looking in a day. So I'm gonna start 8 o'clock in the morning. You finish at 3:30. So that's the hour there. That's the number of hours so far. So you do the maths Monday to Friday. So there is a requirement. Even this ECLT points. Um, there's a requirement. It's not just you go to university, sometimes you don't turn up. There is a requirement. So if you in turn to me, you can go to the extent of, again, define how many hours you need to do actually before you be awarded. You just have to do the bit of work there. So that's what I think. Again, I've never designed these things. I've never been anywhere there. I just see there out there. So I'm just saying what I've seen some places.
Sheriff, all of those things are things that are in place. We have a policy, we have a code of conduct, we have minimum number of days and times that they should be here. They know these things very well, but they just choose to not follow through with it until and unless somebody follows them. And Linyana Jangal Fia, I keep telling them, anywhere you go around the world, that is the standard that you are going to find there. Kulige Gambian talents with the type of discipline and things that we are asking you to do anywhere you go in the world is industry standard when it comes to discipline, timing, dress code, honesty, and all of those things. Because so far, any munga manipulate the institution. So banye dem ligay. So ko defu de Gambian talent nga dem fenen din ko fa def. And when you go places, that's what it is. In the West, people are paid by the hour. There's nanyata hours nga ligay. That determines your pay. So its input determines output here at Gambian Talents, and it is the same thing that happens in the West. America fee, so they may ligay. So la nehe ngene danga febar. Okay, danga febar. Ken do la force nga dem ligay. You stay home. You stay home. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week. Nasa paycheck binyonga said how much money you are going to receive. Ken do la ko wax. When the month ends and you cannot pay your bill, next time ken do la wax nga dem. Because sa harita am gente. Ibaring la friend wala banta. So ite be 1 week la tala pour ka o mon. Mul kane kontron sangola wala ibita sangola every day. Nga said nakala mo deme. Wera da nga am dej sa mami yaay ni jaay bajanam tantam la rakam reer. So yow da nga am pour jël 2 weeks pour mon lolu. Pour dej lolu nono. You need to understand that you got bills to pay. And the more time, more available you are, the more projects you work on, the more deliverables you are, the more beneficial it will be to you. And this is exactly what happens in the West. And if you follow through with what we are teaching you, you will be successful. This is not only military or has nothing to do with military, but general thing, right? So buge nyaka. I'm jetting you fonga nyaka.
Yeah, again, Usman, I think you should invite everybody to go to America, and perhaps you can. Yeah, so balangane ka po di wa po nun. Yeah. Yeah, I think what's my money is making a lot of sense there. Even though again, guys, I mean, sometimes don't leave it to Pausman, a guy, and you give you something. You also need to sort of sit down constructively, right? Again, okay, even though this thing I think is something that's not working here, try and come with those points. Again, I'm a management meeting. You put across to them in a professional way, and they go, "Pause, I think this we can do this instead of this because," and then you need to come with a plan. I mean, you don't just tell him this is not working. Sometimes you have to think about, okay, what's gonna fix this? A remedy, right? And then you put it to him. He's a nice guy. I think so. These are things that he will look into and say, okay, all right, okay. So because if you tell him this is not working, he has to go and think about it because I know Usman. He will like, how do I need to fix this now? So you're gonna give him that time to go and sit back. Maybe he didn't have a lot of time. I don't know. Usman's schedule. But if you sort of like, because it's for you again, because more than when you write a policy, you need to involve the team. You know what I mean? Because you guys come and go, and then you feel one last year. Maybe what they want, you guys don't want that, right? And it's not fair for him to put something on you guys that you don't want, right? So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there were set of different interns here. So I don't know how long you guys go back. So again, whenever a new set of brand come in, and look at what you have installed in the system. And I think maybe how about we change this? Come with a solution. I'm not saying you go in a rebellious way and go, this is, you don't have to do like that, because again, he's helping. That's what he's doing. He's putting this live into this thing. Munati Halis and get a camera. That's what I didn't put my money on anyone's anything. I'm not bringing anyone up. I'm not helping anyone. Yeah, but if Usman is buying all these cameras and buy all these things, putting even proxy and all these computers, it's cost money. You could have put that money in Mundam Free, so in your holiday that will Range Rover on enjoyable pounds super muros. He could have done that. But he's always somebody coming. He wants to be there for people, he want to help people. So again, so don't take anything from him as the negative side of what he's doing. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to help. Again, he's trying to help you. So then what he's putting there, if he's not the right fit, just tell him. Communicate to him. He's your manager. I'm not meeting and I go, boss Lee or Usman, whatever you call him. I think this policy number 3 and 4, I think it needs to be changed in what reason, because people were here before, they wanted that, they accepted that, but you guys don't accept it. So it doesn't mean that it should be thrown at you guys. You should pick and say, okay, let's change this one. And then you guys also think about a remedy. It's always good to come with a remedy. Like you need to come with a solution to something. If you don't want something, how can we go around it? Some people say go around it. Some people say a key to it. So yeah, that's what it is. It's a two-way thing. It's not just Usman imposing this policy on you guys and because it's for you, not Usman. Usman is not. These rules are not applied to him because he's not here. He's somewhere sitting there, even though running the team from point. But all these things definitely doesn't affect Usman. He will not come in the morning 8 o'clock, right? He's not doing that, right? He's not. So those rules, he timing you. So they ending from okay, man, my you get very calm. So how about we start a bit later, like 9 o'clock? It's all communication meeting. Like we can finish 1 hour earlier, 1 hour later. So that 1 hour is not like you guys gonna finish. You're gonna cut your hours. You're just gonna have to push it to the right. Again, communicate, and then tell him that Van the Fanahari I'm finished. Let's start at 9 o'clock. Unless we have something, an event to cover on a day in the morning, which is in the morning, then the party that involves in they need to go. They have to leave and be there on time. But he's a gentleman. He will definitely agree to whatever you bring into him. If it's something that I'm the reason, I think he's gonna be. If not, you just have to be a memory. But yeah, I think that's it for me. I don't have anything else, guys. But thank you so much, guys, for having me. And then you guys are really listening with which I love. Yeah, it seems like you guys yeah, I'm honored, sitting here. Like I said, I'm no one, to be honest, to sit here and I'm just share something that I know. It's just a fraction of what some people knows here. Like but I hopefully there'll be a team. The boys here. I know some people when they're around, they will be coming here, and those are really good guys. So, and you've been safe fans. So we will sort of partner with you guys, and so we can yeah, it'll be good. The future is hopefully it's gonna be bright. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Usman, thank you so much. I need to run. Pause. My phone is just ringing.
Thank you very much.
Well, then what boys run?
Yeah, Jeff, thank you very much.
All right, pause, man.
Sherrif has things to do and can be excused. Maybe in 1 minute, like as usual, let everybody say one thing they learned from this conversation. Sherrif can be excused.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Now I'll see you guys around. Okay. Yeah, I need to pause.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then what's good there?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, let every one of you say one thing you learn, at least so that we will be out of here soon.
Me, I'm hungry. Well, yes, it has been an interesting session with Sherrif Mustapha Dibba, who shared his experience with us, and I have learned, you know, despite the diversity, the time, and everything, communication is very much important. Like you have been telling us, no matter how the situation is, you have to communicate. So that is it. So I have learned that communication discipline is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, he's named after Sherrif Mustapha Dibba, the politician, the former politician, founder of NCP, Kokolenko today, or NCP.
Message of man la Alassane Ba tey nuyu doom message yu gars yi ñoo ma nekk di ñaawale affaire yi nuyu bi nag moo tax comme lu ma jànga comme nit ku nekk loo xam danga ko war a seya si nit ñi pour ñu xam ko understand nga waaye bul am dara rek ba pare denc ko di ko soxore nit ñi loolu jàng naa ko ci moom ba pare tamit dafa jël topic boo xamante ni moo nekk di baaxal aduna bi mooy discipline dafa nekk loo xamante ni fépp fu mu manqué rek foofu dara amatut fa waaye fépp fu mu am rek foofu moom jar na dem te am na solo trop te ñu ngi kontaan ci moom lu mu fi ñëw ba pare jàngal ñu lu bëree bëri thank you very much.
All right. I have learned a lot, but one thing I will say that is the consistency, the issue of consistency. I have learned that whatever you are doing, you have to be very consistent in it, and you go from step to step, so you don't have to skip from 1 step to 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I have learned a lot about what he was talking about. But talking about how you behave yourself down to people, down to art. That's what I learned from him. He as a young man, how he run his life, what was good for him coming up. That's what I learned from him.
Yeah, Mr. Juf, what I learned from him is that one should know, should have passion in what you do.
Well, Mr. Jub, I have learned a lot, but luma janga moy nit danga wara yaru ak pro monti nekk si adina because yar mun na la indi lu bari.
ok monsieur Diouf man li ma jàng ci moom mooy ne rek comme yar ak teggin ak nit ku nekk nga fonk sa kàddu daal.
Mr. Diouf lu ma jàng mooy ne like discipline nekkul ne di wax ak nit rek di wàcce sa bot wala leneen waaye loo def tamit determine sa discipline boobu noonu.
Hi. Hello everyone. Yeah, what I've learned today is that you shouldn't necessarily judge people because of their way of dressing or judge them simply because they don't actually fit your desire. Thank you.
Mr. Diouf mala na Sar xarit Alassane tey dama génnoon si biti demoon naa Banjul jàng naa fa tamit lu es waaye jànguma fii nag parce que dama ñëw fekk fii jeex na waaye fële lu ma fa jàng moo nekk comme ñun ndaw ñi comme si luñ nekk rek nañ si téye loxo bu digir parce que ñoom time bu ñoo nekk ay ndaw amuñ woon ku leen jàppale te ñun moom ñun ñoo nekk di luckiest parce que buñ nekkee ay xale fu mu nekk ni kenn ay mag lañ nag waaye nekkuñ tamit mag yooyu waaye luñ bugg rek nit yi ñu ko si jàppale thank you.
Hello, Mr. Diouf.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the session is so educative. Jange Nase a lot, but what I learned, it's by observation, based on his comportment and the way he's answering questions. and how humble he is as a knowledgeable person, because most of the time so gene si biti nga te say this um young Gambians yi nga xamantene they are so educative, they foo leen gis rek they are proud, ñu ngi ekiti mbaga, ñoom ñoo xam lii, ñoom ñoo mun lii, ñoom ñoo xam lu nekk daal lu knowledge bu ndaw buñ xam then ko they use to abuse other people or pour ñu enslave other people. But based on what I observe here right now, it's something worth emulating, because it's only a knowledgeable person mooy xam how it takes pour nga bring sa boppa down to earth, nga humble, and nga xam certain things looy wax. And as far as communication is concerned, nooy communicate ak people tamit matters. That is what I learned. Because the camera is on her.
Thank you.
You should have come earlier now.
Thank you.
Fatu. Take care.
Fatu,
Yes.
your takeaway message.
My takeaway message is that young people should take the opportunity they have, because there are so many people that do not have this opportunity. I believe Sherrif have explained his part when he was young, but he didn't mention anything like internship program. So we are all young, and in most cases, in other parts of Gambia, when you want to do internship, either say I mean kan mo fa liggéey nga ne ko jaata la santa o kebe la santa hay kebe dama bokk ak mom kebe naka nga def man la doomi paate diw o man la doomi diw. But here your internship, there is nothing like Mboka, there is nothing like I know Fatu or I know this or I know that. Sometimes Fatu is not even involved when it comes to the interview. I think last week we had somebody that came new, and Sherrif was the one doing that interview. And I think Sherrif have never met that particular person or have never seen the person. So at Gambian Talents is an institution, there is nothing like friendship. There is nothing like I am close to A or I am close to B. Because sometimes when I looked at the managers, if you ask them questions about other people, you will be surprised if they ever know anything about a particular individual. But what they know about the individual, so all the way, make here white and sun, you are all young. And foog naa gis nga Sherrif mu ne moom mu ngi young, moom ak ñoom Mr. Diouf ñoo age and all that, foog naa something like that. And the same time mu ne Mr. Diouf mënoon naa jël xaalis bu mu invest fii mu dem mu jëna ko kër bu rusu bi, mu dem mu am si Range Rover bu rafet. Do this internship. So I think some of us, honestly, dunde ham lalapa Usman di def, and man dama de all the time. And some started what have they daf ma de cut. But I believe ne hamna lu bare bare every month suma gisi halis bu Mr. Diouf di de send ku mu ñew si office bi dama ko de wax sometime man I don't believe it makes sense, because ñi nga ko defalal ndax value neen yow li nga def. Ñun ñëpp a ngi fi, some of us ñu ngi jógee from very good families, but na den musa toog ñu am broda bu ne la kaay nga liggéeyal ma si suma office bi o xaaral ma utal la liggéey o xaaral ma defal la li. And families respect you once nga start di get empowered, once nga start di am something loo nekk di def. And I think some of you maa ngi leen gis fii tey nga ñëw classe ëllëg doo ñëw, gannaaw ëllëg nga ñëw, gannaawaati ëllëg doo ñëw, nga fa ne yaa ngi ko defalal A O B O C. Fa naa maa doon explain na loolu message ma ne ko Pamodu Fall mu gaañu barki démb Njaay. I fully remember dama daan dem ak moom Alien Franco, and su ñoo dem Alien la ko def ma Pamodu yow rek laa napp nen dem nga yóbbu ma. And naka la friends at information dañoo ree, maa ngi call Auntie Aisha Davis and ñu ngi waxtaan, ñu ngi reminisce back on those days. Dama bëgg all of you dégg nga Sherrif mu ne ñu ne daf dee follow interest am, loolu la wax right, mu ne ñu ne xam sa soxla la. Yes, nit ku nekk da nga xam sa soxla. Su dee tey nga dem si Aida Kebe mu jàngal la videography moo nekk yow sa soxla, demal. Aida su dee dafa xeeñ, yaa ngi taxaw si boora mu ngi xeeñ, jëlal xetam boobu yow sa boppa nga am ko, ku nga mel ni moom nga achieve. Su dee Fatou Sama gémmiñam bi mu ngi xeeñ ni whatsoever, demal nga def ko friend. Musa the same thing. But young people yu ma gis duma dee gis loolu all the time. So try leen ngeen góorgóorlu ngeen fas jom, loolu dara daaxut ko. Yéen a ngi young, yéen a ngi ñëw si institution fana Gambian Talents man according to lu ma xam ba xam musuma gis office boo xam ne in Gambia mu ngi liggéey 24 hours, man gisabuma loolu. Last 2 weeks ñu ngi dem am meeting ak benn góor si beneen institution, ñu ngi waxtaan ak moom ndeke benn xale bu góor bu doon intern si office bi dafa bàyyi fii dafa dem di liggéey foofu. So boy bi ma dem foofu noonu ma gis ko, honestly I was surprised the job bu ma fekk mu dem di def, and the next minute ma toon ma wax boss ma ne ko ñu dañ def internship ne ma boy bi wax na ma ne si yéen la daan jàngee internship am ñuy waxtaan di waxtaan mi ne Mr Diouf man dama am ko jàppale la si sa training bi nga def kii bu mu nekkutee fii si la xam lan la doon am Gambian Talents so some of us ñu ngi fi ñeena yi si ñun ñu ngi gaata soo demee nga am sa boss mu tàppa sa wang nga am sa beneen collègue mi ne la non sa mees rafet na waaye puus ko nii raayaane na la nga ñëw ko dem ut internship mi ne la kaay ma tëdd ak yow o kaay ma nekk ak yow even our own family members sa oncle mi ne la kaay ma utal la liggéey fekk mu ngi bugg a ku nga sëy ak doomam moo tax mu utal la liggéey soo demee ba bugguloo mi ne la duma ko defati so yéen ñëpp a ngi fi all of yéen try leen by all means full ak fayda kenn du la ko jox yaa koy jox sa boppa mag dina la may rakka dina la may waaye liggéeyal sa boppa amal sa boppa dara daaxut lool but sometimes question yourself nga li ma liggéey maa ngi ko man dama ko dee aan li ma liggéey na den ma ko dee fay ñu ne noonu liggéey government more than 2,500 so you don't have it salary and billahi wala taala ak waxtu bi and I was a senior media assistant 2,500 that's a salary di ko romba or 3,000 su bari bari 3,500 hit na nga am boss bu baax sometimes nga dem cover moo dee war a nga dégg ñu ne la Gambia journalist workshop da nga def si benn media house nga gis Aida Kebe saay na Fatou saay na Aïssatou Koli saay na yéen ñëpp a ngi tase nga ne bul wax ne ñun ñoo jógee benn institution di nga gis keneen sax mu bina beneen institution boo xam ne moomut ko so sant leen yàlla bu baax a baax I encourage you because ñun am nañ experience ma xale la ba dama am a lot of experience barki démba I think démba maa ngi ak Sadio Bristol ñoo nekk si suñu meeting but buñ eegee lan la borom city limits wax naka la paa bi tura déedéet city limits naka la Babacar Thiam dama egsi rek mu ne I am so proud of you ma ne ko yow rek laa naboon bu ma nekkee xale I used to work for him maa ngi nekk lu ndaw an musta di reminisce si loolu ñu nekk di ree si loolu so yéen ñëpp a ngi nekk xale try leen by all means ngeen liggéey yéen a ngi am institution boo xam ne 24 hours la ñoo liggéey ba sam daa nga gis góor boo xam ne mi ne la man duma mun a liggéey guddi bi dama dee soona dama dee busy te yaa ngi am yeneen nit yoo xam ne dañ fi dee nekk suba ba ngoon ñu ngi liggéey leen soo leen demee Europe dañ dee gis suñ sister yoo xam ne ñu ngi dem Europe nga wax ak sa sister mi ne bàyyi dinaa la kola maa ngi nii liggéeykaay lan la nekk liggéeykaay guddi soo demee nga éduquer sa yaay oo sa pa waaye some of us mun nañoo dem club guddi bi yëpp duñ wax ne moto amut mun nañoo toog ñu joo throughout waaye da ngaa génn office nga ne ma yaakamte ko ñibbi nga dem toog di waxtaan so try leen yéen a ngi am opportunité foog naa wax na ko mi ne Mr Ju dafa war a jënd kër dafa war a jënd hit na sa amul kër Gambia hit na amut néeg hit na amut dara hit na su ñëwee Gambia dafa dox ndax moom moo bugg a dox non yaa ngi semestre yoo xam ne seen kër yaa ngi rafet soo xoolee ñun suñ caméra si sometimes lu mu dee jar I think the Glen family bu fi gars yi ñëwee what did they say ñoom mënuñ ta understand ne Pa Ousmane dafa am all this bagage moom moo ko moom ñoom mënuñ ta understand loolu a fana boy what are you doing na yéen a ngi make here why the sun shine sometimes nga toog nga gis caméra boo xam ne mu ngi fi whole day kenn du ko ubbi kenn du ko laal sometimes nga gis projet boo xam ne su la nit waxutee def ko doo ko def man suma boss every day maa ko dee teel baagam muy wàcca si kaw tax bi ba si suuf maa koy teel baagam ndéewo every suba maa ko dee tibal ndéewo ma yóbbul ko si office am ante Aïcha loo bëgg a ndéewo mu wax ma loo bëgg a lekka mu wax ma suy dem meeting dama ànd ak moom su toogee muy wax ak nit puusu naa dem naa ma binal story te waxut ma binal story so yéen ñëpp a ngi young try leen bu baax a baax right now Gambia mu ngi gën a get hard every day mu ngi meeting te nekkut ne ay benn liggéey laa am oo ñaari liggéey laa am oo ñetti liggéey xamal sa liggéey bi soo ko munee wallahi doo care man ma dee toog ma bina salary Mr Diouf mu fay certain people yoo xam ne ñoo ma ëpp salary sut faatu mu mer dama ne xam ne comme fay salary boobu moo ma gën a liggéey lu ma def next dama work hard su ko defee man ma mun a aan loolu sama yéen a ngeen toog nga ne fu ma dëkk dafa sori waaw duma dee am moto duma dee am li tey duma mun a ñëw ëllëg duma mun a ñëw I remember there was a time somebody in the office mi ne ma moom mu ngi dëkk booli Costa Road waaye daf dee dox gëmuma daf dee dox and I told Mr Diouf dina am yes ba fii yes boat dem bi ak ñëw bi and that's Aida daf ko dee dox bu ma waxe mi Aida Kebe bi ma waxee loolu I didn't believe it Musa daf dee nekk fii suba sometimes ba 9 o'clock still yaa ngi ko fekk mu ngi toog and ndéewo du ma ko dee gis mu ndéewo xam nga some of yéen maa si oño daf dee ndéewo so ku nekk dafa amee skill ku nekk dafa am lu moo def te tey su ma amee any project dama ne su fa kii nekkutee kii na fa nekk because dama xam lan leen ma gaay di ma defara so yéen a ngi nekk institution boo xam ne Mr Diouf projet yi moo jël yëpp ñun young people la koy jël basketball buñ demoon naka la ñooñu seen collègues lan la gaay wax seen team bi is young tey maa ngi am call fanaa si suba bu ma ñëwee na bi dégg nga ma maa ngi wax ak somebody or Awa Sow dégg ngeen ma maa ngi wax ak somebody koo xam ne dañ ko defal project 3 years ago that's Ami Jaaju and daf ma describe ba man suma bopp honestly dama kontaan pam su dee amut sa neex na am leen full ak fayda si seen liggéey 3 years ago or 4 years ago video yooyu mu ne moo nice moo tax mu bëgg ñu defalati ko and you know what I told her ma ne ko caméra yun am léegi moo daxa caméra yooyu and caméra yun amoon moo nekkoon doo soni yun am fii si office bi te kenn laalatut ko léegi so try leen ba tey nga ñëw ëllëg doo ñëw fanaa Mr Diouf wana yi fi musu bi ne bëgg naa def 1 or 2 things about her di nga foog ne ñi dina soof si loolu and si naka la baro li fi nam bi inauguration lan la musu wax den toog rek gis ko a day before dama leen bëgg a ñëw dimbale si guddi boobu moom moo dem ak Aïssatou Koli si naka la airport bi throughout but some of us ñu ngi fii si office bi kenn du la bëgg a jox project xoolalaat sa boppa seetalaat sa boppa man wax naa loolu all the time kenn gënut maa jóg yes kenn gënut maa jóg suma kee sa gaay laa wax suma solo pink si kaw bi si suuf pink barki déema maa ngi wax ak Ajis beauty parlor ma ne ko suma abaya bi mi ne ma sa abaya bi nice na mi ne ma waaye lu tax makeup buuloo da nga waroon a ñëw ma makeup la you know what I see liggéey bu ñoo liggéey si field bi ba si inauguration boobu lan la ñuy méegal and I was very happy bu ñoo interview Henry Gomez ma gis jóori ñit ñëpp ñëw taxaw si suñ naka la podium boobu di ñu xool I feel very proud fekk yaa ngi am yeneen media house yoo xam ne it na ñu ngi am everything seen setup moo tax yëpp te ñun suñ setup amun kenn kun order ku ñu ko ñëw setupal ñun local ñun ñoo ko def ba tout ñu ngi naka la 1 o'clock ñu ngi foofu noonu tout ñu doog a éega si suñ kër yi so some of yéen a ngi fi ku la boolewu doo si bokka and Gambian Talents moo nekk institution boo xam ne nekku ne Fatou Sama mooy wa Mr Diouf employal Nabiya or fayal Aida or hayal Alassane déedéet Mr Diouf moo dee gisal boppa everything every day dafa on staff yi lan ngeen def tey lan ngeen achieve kii lan la def kii lan la def su la Aida bañee loolu affaire am la su la Fatou bañee loolu affaire am la loo def rek loolu la ñoo bëgg a gis so try leen office bi is open am na ñoo xam ne woo neen fi dinaa ñëw morning or dinaa ñëw night gisatuloo leen what is it kan moo la aaye fii kenn so Aida tëddee di nelaw tey maa ngi ko wa ñoom Nabiya so waye Aida ne damaa def lii Aida mi ne la déedéet jógal nga surprise Aida ne man maa la daaxal lii xaaral ma defal la ko su eewa mu gis ko dafa la kii mun na li xaaral ma jox ko lii xaaral ma jox ko lii sa boos danga koo daw man suma boos yi suba ba ngoon ñoom ku mel ni Pa Ousmane Marong ñoo doon liggéey xam nga naka laa ko dee ooyee dadi oos dadi laa ko dee ooyee de su ma ñëwee dadi te office bi moo fa gën a naxari deret every day dañoo xuloo te moom suma pa ñooy age mate ñooy age group ñoo doon foyee Banjul si waxtaan leen def noonu ba ma xam ne moom suma pa ñoo nekk age group tey ma toog di liggéey ak moom xanaa loolu nekkul man suma ndam bi papa on suma ndam so yéen ñëpp a ngi fi try leen bu baax a baax or employing ma démba I receive a call from one of the biggest institution in the Gambia television they call me and dama surprise bu ma gisee call bi from those people and you know what the guy told me dama am suma raka dama ko bëgg a indi mu ñëw si seen office internship and you know man ak suma gémmiñ bu forox la bi I asked the person waaye yéen seen institution bu mag boobu lu tax mënuloo faa yóbbu sa raka mu ne suñ institution du jël léegi internship and ñu start di waxtaan ma ne ko lu tax doo leen a jël internship and you know what lan la ma wax xale yi léegi su ñëwee du xam seen fulla ak fayda yeah loolu la ma big institution bi guys seen senior boss moo ma wax lii and we laugh yesterday I was together with different media outlets a media chief from America came mangi talk I don't even recognize the person and the next minute Coco tap my back and say how are you and I said I'm fine oh my god I just love you so much can I have your WhatsApp number and I give it to the person and the next minute I'm not Pa Ousmane bu baax but bëgg naa liggéey ak yow and I said I don't have a problem lan nga bëgg a liggéey ak man and you know what the person say dinaa la consult man yow ak Pa Ousmane you said how best we can partner and right now am na benn institution bu ma doon liggéeyal am na xaalis bu ma daan fay amount of xaalis bu ma dama leen ne man mënatuma liggéey xaalis boobu noonu because léegi dama believe ne ndaanaan la dama bëgg ñu yokkal ma and you know what Mr Diouf said nii nga ko war a defee nii la nga ko war a defee dama am ko oo ñooñu for meeting and lii seen boss sa lu ne naa fay when I am to work for them they will not pay them that and boss bi si boppam he told me and Mr Diouf is on the phone and Mr Diouf is right now on the meeting every day sama waree meeting a guy dama ne dama busy dama lii because maa ngi busy so léegi instead of 3 days ñu jox ma ko liggéey benn bés rek leen ma gars yi jox liggéey so all of yéen a ngi fi loolu naa def ku seen boppa la ku seen boppa waaye soo leen ñëwee tey ngeen ñëw ëllëg ngeen ñëw it's not nice so encourage naa leen bu baax a baax déggal ngeen waaji wax na ko tey ana mu jógee na Europe mu ñëw Mr Diouf mu invite ko su xamutoon dara kan moo ko fay ini kan moo koy wax ñëwal nga ñëw ñu wax kenn soo leen toogee nga fa ne nag maa dof lu si kaw ñi di man suma maasi man léegi dama ko wax dama resign from wax bu bari loo war a def mënuloo koo def man Samba Birane du man ak jàng leen mari ma dem ba mari xuja jee ma jël ko def ko ba mu baax su ma paree ma toog ma am crédit bi that is it try leen very well ñun ñu bari liggéey like Lamin Manga everybody know Lamin Manga to be a very honest person gis naa Lamin Manga si airport bi Semester Avenue ma riitee ko ne dama ko interview Semester Avenue mi ne ma déedéet and you know what Lamin Manga did he tapped my back ñetti yoon mi ne ma Fatou I'm super proud of you su ma la gisee yaa ngi present duma ko dee mën a muñ the last time man ak Nabiya ñu ngi ànd si boori naka la foofu tudda police bi mu wàcce mama yeneen ambassadeur mu ñëwaat mi ne ma Fatou ma ne naa mi ne ma dëgga kenn du yow yaa ngi liggéey very hard and people are noticing it sometimes nga fa ne man videographer laa ñiti duñ xamee suma liggéey am na videographer boo xam ne recently somebody dafa toog mu seetaan video mi ne Mr Diouf dama like kii liggéeyam and you know what Mr Diouf said soo amee project wax ma ko dama jël kooku mu liggéeyal la so all of you are here sa liggéey fu mun a nekka sometimes man ma musa feeñ caméra ñi dafa ñëw fii just approach bu ma la approach nga dem si Mr Diouf nga wax ko so all of you ku nekk fii am nga place fii ku fi ñëw tey dégg nga angale dégguloo angale Mr Diouf jox na la mic dégg nga olof dégguloo olof jox neen la mic other institution loolu du dee am waaye young people bi ñun ñëpp nag si media houses ñun ñëpp ko dee wa young people bi discipline bu nangu loolu man sax si young people bi laa bokka thank you
It's been a long day. We've been on for 2 hours, and I think that's a reasonable amount of time for all of you to go back to what you were doing. However, it is important to understand the things that you have been taught here today. Sherrif Momu, wana len ne sude shi turla, Tomayam is Sherrif Mustapha Dibba of the NCP political party. He is also humble enough to tell you guys, but organization Bimalena ni, he's the president. You heard him say Nesindare ila boka. He's in fact not Dindare, he's the president and the leader of that organization. And what I said, Nabia, you have something to say?
No. Mr. Diouf, Kex Sane is right here in the office, and Kex will want to talk to the young people just for a minute. So Kex Sane is here. Give a round of applause for Kex Sane. Kex Sane. Kex Sane. The mga talk
So you can see what it is. It is very important. It is very important to understand this.
Final post.
Yes, we just have somebody that came from the UK that was just sharing some words of wisdom with the youth, as we believe in empowering them, showing them the way. I mean, Dog and Tikirgi, and you have definitely been contributing towards the development of the Gambia in different ways, shape, or form. Since Feke Mola Chibole, we'll just give you the opportunity to share. I mean, Tangde top Gambian talents, and you always available. Not even long ago, about a month ago, Lala Muje hijack at 2 a.m. at night. I woke you up, and I interviewed you about the court that was taking place between UDP and President Barrow about this election brouhaha that was happening, and that was 2 a.m. As a journalist, I mean, you are always passionate. Kulagis Hamne, you're always hungry for information. Maybe in that perspective, you don't wait for information to come to you. For the importance of that. Young people sitting in their homes, wanting for news to come to them. You want to be journalist, you want to be media practitioner, but you just want to stay home and just have information come to you, or everything to be given to you in a silver platter. Kex is always on the ground and on the field. Donango can explain a lot, and when you break it down, especially when it comes to the National Assembly or court reporting, it's as if we were right there in the building. You make all our work easier. Sinyo nineka chibiti wala kipa kuneka ku amud the opportunity to attend the courts or be in the courtroom to hear what happens there. What can you share with the young people when it comes to, I mean, this job as a journalist. Maybe then I'm another special session that would be fully with Kex, especially when it comes to those things. But specifically, like about the importance of a journalist being hungry and going for information rather than waiting for information to come to you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate Nako to be a part of this. Fogna Demago Tombe, and I'm coming from somewhere I pass by. But it's an opportunity to share with some of them. You know, man, it has been a passion. I refuse not to be part of any media house. About the majesty, it's worth it putting information to the public because information, if people are getting the accurate information, right, then they become an informed citizen and they make an informed decision. And lolo kendo ko muna johe apart from the profession bo hamne nyoko train in school, wala they have a passion about the job, moneka a media house, which Gambia Talent is one of the leading media house when it comes to Gambia because program bo halat rek they are always there. Say and person is always there to make sure that they inform the citizens. Journalism nak lo hamne la liggéey bo hamne any mama amount bo hamne nit jox na la ko the person cannot pay you, but you don't look at lan nga they gain from the profession itself, but what you are giving to the community. So Lulmota, it needs a sacrifice, commitment, and it needs passion pour nga make sure that to deliver that expectation be. Te Limota is different because in the generation we are, everybody becomes a journalist. Since you have a smartphone, you become a journalist. Then they talk like, but how accurate is that information? Little more different from somebody practicing the profession because who practice the profession need to go out to the field, go into all the struggles to make sure that the person gets the accurate information. But hamna suko sayarek at anywhere rek, nobody will doubt the content of the document. Be. More especially if you are working for a media institution, the credibility of that institution lies in your hand. Your nga hamne your journalist before hamne represent that institution. Be. So your warlow tile number one, you should not be somebody ko hamne you will rely on a second source to verify your information. Wala rely on somebody because you hamulo aware that that person tap the source of the information. So you person bo hamne you should be there with all costs so that you will have the credibility information be so that you will put the name of your institution bo hamne lol nga they represent kuko dega da nga wane like lu joge si Gambian Talent rate is accurate because the person staff si ame mo di person ñoo hamne ñoo nekk si field be how passionate they are about collecting this information be so and which actually I will just add ñu ne sa fas bi nu muna dawe rek you still add him. These guys are in the field everywhere because I had get the opportunity to work with them during some campaign in terms of PDYs, and I see the passion in them time when they struggle to get the information and the places when they finance tile. They are always with us. They are always there to make sure that Sen Ligue be more legible for. But still now, let them add more. To make sure that we rely on no matter how trust need never rely on his information in terms of news and make sure that you have the correct information with the people because election if there's anything there your missing source be so contumasa platform people then turn out pour ñu commencer de la criticize so they maybe yaga once two times then people start to doubt that institution but also America you lost your credibility in the public speech pour nga amad ko there's a competition in this domain in terms of media protection because we have seen so many medias are coming and imagine and most of likely is an law and the sport like news with that then your motor league time will come we will not even have this printed medias but people will learn on online TVs because they are fast to break the news because media house moneka printed but they have to wait for the next day to do their publication but by then news be already has been spread all over the world so time dina ñew the competition will be between this online you have your camera or your gadget or even your phone immediately information happens you are there at the spot and there will be a competition because at the end of the day Gambia is too small the events yep then they happen at one place but it depends on the credibility of the institution the natives didn't follow they have because of with the credibility the Gambia Talent I don't care even all the media houses are there I'm gonna wait for Gambia Talent because they have the credible information so lolu mom is left to you the people you are running the institution be pour ngeen muna sell the image of the institution be pour mu muna nekk institution bo xamne everybody can be proud of and I will say that this is a very noble initiative from the management of Gambian Talent to organize such a fora bo xamne da ngeen di talk to reflect and to encourage them and to tell them what is their role and ñom lan la ñoy def to not only sell Gambia Talent but they will sell themselves because Alexibir, if they are very credible, as soon as Gambian talent, the person behind Gambian talent too must be mentioned. Kokusu mention the credit go to the person individual bine. She's the one or he is the one doing this thing. So Lolo Dana sells a credibility. And I'm so grateful for my office share the little that I have and encourage them to keep up the passion. Be Buñ Musa Tile, let them be committed to the work. As far as ñoom ñoo dem be choose, this is the field they want. You have to take the ownership of it. You are not doing it for Gambia talent, but doing it for yourself and doing it for the Gambian population. And Alexi Bir Ali, comme lu ma leen ko waxee, c'est profession boo xam ne kenn mënu laa fay no matter how amount because you take the risk. Even if it is a demonstration, wala strike, la fire accident, you are there without any protection, but you want the public to know what actually happened there. So Lolu, Halis Munu qualify. So nobody will hold the amount you are gaining from that institution, but you are doing it for the public interest. Lo hamnene, it will pay LXC bill because of your passion. Somebody can see you, and you can end up happening to be a communication officer of an institution. Where we have seen journalists move from another institution in terms of journalists become a communication officer, either in one of the ministries or even embassies, because of the passion in terms of disseminating the information more than public. So I will encourage you people to continue the commitment long in the deaf, and I'm so grateful to be part of this noble fora.
One last question for you will be about court reporting, the do's and don'ts. What are some of the things? I mean, and because our young people here are training, I'm not shy to say that I give them the opportunity, we give them the chance to go to places, learn on the job, make mistakes, and return. Sometimes when they report, especially certain types of cases, or places when you report there are things that you can and cannot do. When it comes to reporting for court or the National Assembly, but more specifically legal matters, what are some of the do's and don'ts that a journalist can should know?
Thank you very much. First of all, court and National Assembly, they are different from other reporting because they have their or different language in terms of court. Maybe in other reporting, you might use a term. In court, if you use it, it means different. It will give you a different meaning. There are terms that the court might use are different from the terms that you can use in an ordinary report. So one has to first differentiate what are the language of the courts and the National Assembly, because there are language that we didn't have this opportunity. Maybe we don't have a school apart from the university, and not everybody can afford to be at the university, and you must be studying political science or you want to be a journalist whereby you will deal with these terms. But when it's come to our school curriculums, these are things that are not things that we are given the opportunity to know. But National Assembly normally, because I have this program with RII in terms of when they wanted to conduct the National Assembly, and I told them that it's going to be different from a normal reporting because National Assembly has their own language, and sometimes people don't understand these things. Like, for example, if they tell you that cyanide in National Assembly, most of the people, if they want to interpret it in other language, means that, you sigh and die, but it's not that. That means that the Assembly has closed for another session. That is, but in normal terms, sigh and die might mean differently. And in court too, there are so many languages that if you explain to a layman, the person will not understand. So what one needs to do if you want to be a court reporter, first you must acquaint yourself with some of these legal acts. That's the Supreme Court Act, the Legal Procedures Act, even the lawyers that we call the Legal Practitioners Act, and some of even the preamble of the Constitution to understand, but more especially the court rules, the rules that are governing the courts. If you understand this preamble, you'll be able to start from there. And as you are going to the courts, you'll be understanding these terms that the people are using because they have their own dictionary. So when you see these things, you just click them and put it in a dictionary form, either in your computer, then it will give you the meaning of it. So I think with you, if you will support, I will recommend for the institution to go to Gambia Printing and Publish Corporation and buy all this act. They are not that much expensive, and more especially for the students, there is a price that is mainly for students and people that are practicing journalism. And you have them in your office so that they will acquaint themselves, and you have somebody who is specialized in that area so that the person will be reading this thing so that she or he will understand the terms and the reference that are used in court. But it's not a difficult work too. It just needs commitment, and you have to be a keen listener that you always make sure that don't be distracted at the court, because if you are in a courtroom and you miss one submission of a lawyer, then you miss the entire story. Then that means that you have to rely on a second source. Whether that person get the information correctly is something that is a problem. And Gambia here to obtain documents from the court is always a problem. Like I'm following the UDP ruling, the entire ruling of the court since last week. I could not lay my hand on it. Even today I was there. Just to have a clear information about what was the legal base that the judge rely on to refuse to do the review of the UDP case. But I am promised that I should go back there on Monday, which I will. And I've been going there for 3. So it doesn't need for you to be tired. You must be somebody who is very passionate. You can go there 10 occasions, 11 occasions, but you have to be committed that you want that information so that you have an accurate information in terms of future reference. If similar case come, you can make a reference to UDP versus Adama Barrow. This was the judgment, but today this is a different one because sometimes we, the journalists, too, need to do this analysis for the public to know what transpired in a similar cases. So these are things that I might recommend for your institution to help them and equip them by giving them the necessary tools that they need if they want to be a court reporter or a National Assembly reporter.
Thank you very much. That is very important, Kex, and that's why I asked the question. Dem nañu na yeb research la ak nangu ak pare pour janga ak ñafe. Not only court reporting, but generally, that is what should happen everywhere in this field. Doing research and knowing and understanding what it is. And reading is a very important part of it. Following what is happening, whether it's reading the newspaper, following what is happening online, offline, on the newspapers, watching other platforms and looking at what is happening. And if you are interested in court reporting or National Assembly, Keksane is a go-to person. I mean, because he's very current and up to date when it comes to those things and puts in a lot of effort, as you've heard him say. Do give up. Sometimes with some of you, when you are given a project, demal nga def li, so make 1-2 attempts, jotulo boromam rek wala amlo li nga buga rek, you give up. Try na besona. Demba rek la joge am meeting ak ñom Fat Samba and Aida about the Semester Avenue. Ñu jox leen ko hangout, we call this person, ñu ne call nañ ko ben ñaari yoon awmako, and the people never followed through, never got back to the institution or say anything. You must be persistent, you must be consistent, and you must follow through with it. I know we'll try to organize another session with you. This was just fake mola ci bole dang ci juux rek, but we'll try to organize another session where we'll talk about the legal media laws of the country, the do's and don'ts, and some of those things that we need to know, the terminologies and language register of the courts and the National Assembly. I mean, at surface value, ñu xam ko, and that way, when you are covering the courts, nga dégg ñu use 1 or 2 words, don't feel like ñu ngi làkk Chinese or Japanese. So toogee dégg ñu ne, I mean, 5 prayers. Dootoo foog ne ñaan la ñoo wax, julli la ñoo wax, as in prayers, as in julli, but di nga xam what is being said and all the other things, the rules and everything else. So thank you, Kex. Maybe your final message, right, to the young people, and maybe if one of them have a question for you, they can. If not, we wrap up.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. And like I said in the beginning, I'm very proud to be part of this. All of us are learning, and me too, I'm learning from senior reporters at the court and board the National Assembly. And I rely on this. I have never gone to any journalist school, but out of passion, today I can sit solely and rely on just listening to somebody at the National Assembly and develop a story within 2 or 5 minutes because I have learned from people. So it doesn't need one to actually, it needs what we call the passion and the commitment to, like, if you love the work, like, the work too will love you, and it will become very easy for you. So I will encourage them to be very passionate about whatever I feel they want to concentrate on. Let them be passionate about it and know that this is my passion and I want to achieve this within 1 year or 2 years. Let you have a target, because in everything that you are doing in life, you must have a target. What do I want to achieve in the next 1 year? Where do I want? Which level do I want? And if you stage yourself and commit yourself to a standard, at the end of the day, you will achieve it. When I decided to go to the National Assembly to give information, I said that within 6 months, I should know, nobody should tell me how to report in the National Assembly. And I can go for an entire committee meeting for 1 hour and summarize it, and somebody will feel like you were in the National Assembly and you were sitting before those National Assembly members. And I can explain. Likewise, the court too. I rely on the senior reporters that were there, and I do so much research in terms of what we are the court reporting, and I was able to understand some of the terms that they are using. And today, alhamdulillah, I'm not perfect and I'm still learning, and I'll keep on learning. And I always encourage them to learn. Let them never be tired. Any paper that you can lay your hand on, just read it. Even if you don't understand, ask, and you will definitely get there where you want. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'm so grateful to be part of this discussion.
Thank you. Anybody has any question? If not, I mean, we let Kex go. Anybody has 1 or 2 questions? Not a whole lot, just 1 or 2 questions for Kex. 1 or 2 questions for Kex.
It's okay.
All right, thank you very much, Keksane.
Thank you for the privilege.
So what has been prominent in this is passion. Sirif said it and Kek said it. We all need to be passionate about the work and do research. New guest to def in Kemtalai Katan. Angewa, I hear I said to call it no very strongly. Yakamtina dem yakamtina fejuge. Moy you know what, like I can already tell. Did it? Moy you know what, like I can already tell. Yakamti. Yakamti. Al koronto talete yakamti bobu. Moy lolo. So at the end of the day, you need to be very passionate and be involved. Lodo no talbem lodo serinyam.
Well,
There is no need
I
to
am
hijack.
actually interested in court coverage, but then I have to learn a lot of things because at times we don't have news. Then Kex can be my witness. I'm going to text money. Can I take whatever you report with regards to the okay, with regards to the court? Yes, no problem. So normally, as but we don't have news. Most of this court livings is
It's all about passion. I just called him, like I said, 2 weeks ago. I had him on air at 2 a.m. Laco call, and he was there to actually give me the information that I needed. I mean, you just need to be passionate about this thing. It's not all about the fanfare. Man might have ghetto life, man might have youth bantaba, man my presidential correspondent. You are very excited and happy to say that. But then when it comes to going out in the field and doing some of the other things, and Kensi and Parewood, none of you will be like nyor until you are ready to do these things, whether as a videographer or as a camera person. Manly regla bugadef la bugadef. You can have your specialization, fine, but you should be very flexible and ready to do this and do it and be available as much as possible, not to pick and choose. Because anywhere you go in this world, suñ la joxee ne lii mooy sa primary duties, there are always secondary duties and responsibilities. And believe it or not, that is in every institution in the world. There are usually primary duties and responsibilities. As we speak, somebody was commented on the thing. Modu Sen said, "It looks like you are talking to me. I am working night shift 6 days in the week." Mune 6 days. How Modu Sen mom fan la neka sa where he is in the world, but he's confirming limale neka di wax. Tu ngeen foogee ne caaxaan la Fatou Samba wax na ko sisters yeeg brothers yi fii. I did it for years. 5 years maa ngi liggéey night shift straight as a family man, and it is what it is. Jigéen ñi dañ koo def fii, góor yi dañ koo def fii. So these are things that you must acquaint yourself with. World is changing and you must be aware of these things. Lan lawyers ngeen fi jànga? I would say probably nothing. Li leen Kex wax, li leen Sherrif wax yëpp lu ma leen a wax la, and I'm glad I said to Corey reference it bi moo commencé. Yes, just like you always tell us, Mr. Juf. Yes, I always tell you guys these things. Lima leen dee wax la, li leen Fatou dee wax la, ñoom Fatou ak Aida, they learn it every day. Right before this meeting, I was having a meeting with them and they learned a few new things. But they are always willing to learn, ready, and to implement the things that they are learning. And one of the things I was telling them is to hold you accountable as managers. Pour wax leen rek li ma leen teach mooy pour hold you guys accountable. That when I call the office, I will ask who and who are there. What are they doing? Because I called Ida yesterday and asked who was in the office. Key lan la boromam def, I don't know. Mu ngi woon ci computer bi. And I said, that's not what you are supposed to do. As a manager, you are supposed to know who and who are in the office, what project they are working on, how far they have gone with the project. If you ask, I said to Koli, what are you doing? I'm researching to do a show. Or you ask, as Alasan Baloy def, mange edit project, ban project, Semester Avenue, ban Semester Avenue, Semester Avenue featuring Alasan, Aisatu Jallo. How far have you gone with it? Definitely 60% or 70%. So Toge an hour later, come back to Alasan and ask him what is he doing. This way you will know and hold the person accountable. But if you don't know what the person is up to, mung si computer and direct. Lu Sherrif di def, mungi liggéey si project Mr. Diouf. Ban project Mr. Diouf. Maybe Sherrif ang si computer bi di chat ak janghami. Maybe mung si computer bi di setan football or something. So you need to be able to know. These are the things that I emphasize to them, and you will see them enforce it. So su ngeen toogee léegi Aida ñëw Aissatou Colley, what are you doing? Or Yusuf Ndour, what are you doing? It's a new skill that they have been reinforced to establish. They're supposed to hold people accountable. So whilst people are learning every day, some of you are in defiant. Di mer ñëw si office bi di mer. Fii ku mer bokkuloo. So thank you all very much. We will call it off. Thank you for coming.
Mr. Diouf, dafa
okay, Alassane.
comme like
xamane yow jànguloo kon lu Mr. Diouf di wax kii wax na leen ne anytime nit mu wax la anything and you don't want to do it, tell the person, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. You understand? But like gis nga ne yaa ngi wax time léegi yow yaa ngi laajte wati question or yaa ngi yokk a jimu ak computer.
Yeah, but it's okay. I give the chance to say if they have something to say. Now go ahead, Alassane.
Wow, Mr. Diouf, sorry the time bi dafa jeex na waaye comme si wàllu semester avenue bi lay wax ni dafa am koo xamante ni fan yi la ñëw te moom fii la jàngee ba graduate mu dem America bu mu demee America nag foofu la defee nursing school bi ba pare léegi dafa graduate mu ngi fii nii understand comme lay su nekkee ne gars yi bëgg nañ ko li ma
joxal ñoom Fatou ñu link ko baak moom ñu seet naka la. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Diouf, the entire team.
I feel great giving the opportunity to be a staff here at Gambian Talents TV. Thanks to Pa Usman Diouf for the opportunity and the entire management team.
Staff in Gambian Talents TV, Mr. Diouf, thanks to you. I'm so excited. I'm so happy right now. And the entire Gambian Talents TV.
Tey nag lu doon suma teewaay fii mooy pour jox suñ mbégte ak kontaan opportunité bi nga xam ne pour ñu gën a mun a prove suñ bopp si institution si liggéey nga xam ne boobu lañ ñu ko jox pour ñu mun a gën a wone suñ bopp opportunity bi pour thank the entire GTTV management.
Time that I was starting, it was like JJC, Johnny Just Come. Things were very hard with me. I can't even speak or stand in front of people to talk. To showcase my talent was very hard for me.
Rome was not built a day. This is absolutely an important gesture. I cannot compromise with it because I have been at home going to school, going and coming.
This is the place that I got everything. I will try my best to do well, to work as a team in order to take this institution in a better place and in a great way.
Doon na kontante bu mag si ñun te su soobee Yàlla by the grace of God Almighty dañoo gën a jàpp institution bi gën ko def institution bi nga xam ne bokk na si media yi nga xam ne ñoo gën a rëy si suufi Gambia fii.
Thanks to the internship and to Pa Usman Diouf for believing in me, trusting in me. He gave me the opportunity as a young person, having my own shows, went to tour with the president. Other important state engagement that I was involved with together with other colleagues of mine was an important gesture and a wonderful experience.
I promise to work so hard to make this institution the best institution, not only in the Gambia, in the world at large.
naa góorgóorlu bu baax ba lépp luñ expect si ma def ko naa work hard pour jëmale institution bi inshallah si kanam.
We are ready to rally behind him pour jàppale institution bi mu gën a grow further.
This means a lot. I won't let them down. I'll continue to strive as much as I can. As young people, this is what is expected of us, to strive hard, to work hard, to make sure we make our parents happy, we make people that believe in us happy. This is definitely something that I can't play with.